All right, we're here. Let me switch us to our chatting screen. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Happy 5 years.
Hi, guys.
Our podcast is walking around. I mean, it should have been walking around for a while at 5 years.
You said like 5 years, like many times before, but now I just processed.
Yeah,
like it's been 5 years.
Half a decade. Yeah.
Don't say that.
Years. 5 more years.
Here's the thing.
I
was like 22 or 23 or whatever when this started, and I'm not that age anymore.
Crazy how that works, right?
Crazy how time kept moving and the podcast started. Like, there's so many of our fans who I look and I'm like, you used to be a child and are not anymore. It's so strange to me. I do remember Shayna in one of our live streams being like, growing up with the podcast, and I even remember the cadence that he said it. Like,
oh my god, you're gonna embarrass me.
I don't remember which one it was. I don't know if it was an anniversary stream or one of the side channel streams or what, but yeah. That was really early. That was like the first year or two. But, you know, sometimes people have like sound bites I associate with them that get like stuck in my head. And that's one of yours.
Up with the podcast.
Yes.
Oh, no. Well, hello, everyone.
Wait, do I have a sound bite?
You're putting me on the spot. I don't know. Shayna has one because I'm associated with
what are
this
all of
moment.
our sound bites, Cassie?
No.
Considering how much of our audio they work with, they really are like, there's too much to choose from, I bet.
Yeah, there's too much.
Yeah.
Too many things.
Mm-hmm.
Something has to remind me of the soundbite for it to come up, you see. So
Real convenient answer.
Yeah, Mr. Bach and I pointed out the podcast is starting to go to school, and I was like, oh, fuck, the podcast is older than some of my students.
Oh my god.
Oh, no.
Jay, are some of your students 4 years old?
I mean, not my students, but sometimes I like watch over the younger kids.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think that's your age range, but like,
You don't think the
Jay
5-year-old
just
is in
has
8th
like
grade?
a really smart 4-year-old in 8th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4-year-old sitting on the computer.
Yeah.
by the way, feel free to let us know if the music sounds too loud or anything when we're switching between screens. It should be good, but we can't hear it, so it's through OBS.
Yeah.
And also, I
Yeah.
tend to not read the chat when I'm controlling the screen, the stream. So if you say something to me specifically and I don't answer, it's not you. I'm just not looking at you.
Yeah, they say we sound fine.
Cool.
They're saying some of the sound bites. They
I know,
say, my
Sean.
parents.
That's not true.
That's literally
true,
it's
though.
it's so true that it became a bit in the show whenever you
Yeah.
do it.
Like, you referenced
Or
it yourself.
You were literally like, you guys don't fucking say anything. My parents
Oh my gosh.
Also, I'm
got
like
that.
not
I
a
don't
streamer,
know.
so if there's like some clunkiness going through this, if you've been in a stream before, you know I'll fuck it up at some point. But we are just gonna pretend it didn't happen and that there isn't a recording of me doing it. So
don't let them live this down. if
I
they
think
fuck up
last year's
anything during
stream, the one that's up is the part 2, and I just privated the part 1 because I kept it because like you need if you decide to watch the stream, the context of the first 10 minutes is nice. But
Yeah.
so it's in the description, but I'm like, I'm not gonna leave both parts up on my YouTube channel, so just part 2 is public.
Mhm.
I did have the settings for low ads, but like I don't know, I can probably turn it off. It's not like we're gonna make big bucks this stream. I don't know if I can turn it off after we
But,
start.
nah, it's gonna be
Yeah, there was 2 ads right as the stream
I
started,
said
and there just now was one ad.
non-disruptive was what I told it. I said
Well,
lowest
how
ads.
does it know?
Let me. Oh, can I turn it off? I can turn it off. Okay, so if I hit save, I don't know if that'll actually turn it off or not, since we've started. But I just turned ads off, so.
Well,
Maybe.
I'll be able to tell because I was also seeing an ad, so
I won't. I use an ad blocker. So Cassie gets none of my money.
Don't tell YouTube that.
Not while we're
What?
streaming.
I
I
mean-
feel like
In
people
Minecraft.
have been banned if they talk about it on stream. So be careful.
Ah, just kidding. That was all a joke.
What a funny bit.
What a
Yeah.
funny bit.
Yeah, that
Um,
was really funny as a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
We're going to start with our Patreon questions, though. I said in the chat, and it's pinned just as a reminder for people coming in late, but we will only be doing live questions at the end if we have time, just because we're on a schedule, you guys. We got a good 2 hours in us, hopefully, and then us old people got to go to bed. Just kidding. I don't think any of us will be going to bed that early, but...
What? I go to bed at 8 p.m. on the dot.
yeah.
I'm staying up for this. You're lucky I'm here.
Okay, now we have the thing where I changed the currently vibing to Patreon.
I believe in you.
That goes off.
Don't fuck
This
it up.
goes
Do
on.
not fuck it up.
I'm
I
waiting
got it.
for like a spelling error.
I think I checked them before we started, but we'll see. I do have the tier list set up that we didn't choose to do, so I might at some point accidentally turn it on, and then everyone's gonna be like, no! Favorite, whatever!
Fuck
We
it
don't
up.
get to do that one! Wow, dang it! Like, no. The ones that we didn't pick to do aren't the best anyway, so...
Yeah.
So, we're gonna start with the first question, though, and it's for me. It's from Joker Dino, and it's what inspired you to create Chosen Ones / what inspired you to turn it into a visual novel. So the visual novel style aspect is mostly just because I've made things that were kind of like motion comic-y in the past, but not quite like this, and I was trying to figure out how to do this show in a way that was doable without making it like a full motion comic, because there's no fucking way we would be able to release anywhere close to consistently if we did more art than we already do for it.
Yeah,
So-
the show would take 4 times longer. You'd
It
be
already-
watching
we've
the first
already
season
been
of Chosen Ones for
struggling.
20 years.
I've already been struggling,
Yeah.
but I'm working on it. I'm trying to find ways to
5
go
more
faster.
years.
And obviously
5
we'd
more
go
years.
stop it. And obviously we go every other week during normal releases now too. But the main inspiration was just obviously I've played visual novels before, and I've always liked that. If I had time, we would also have the captions on screen like they do for visual novels, but I barely have time to do the voice mod captions, which I do because I know they're hard to understand. So those are kind of necessary. But like an actual true visual novel would also have the like text when people are talking and stuff. And it felt like a good ground, like middle ground. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, there.
Middle ground to showcase our art without going to an extreme that became impossible to do, because obviously the cast helps out here and there, but most of the actual production of the episodes, like the audio editing and the video editing, is just done by me. So it has to be something that can be made mostly by one person, and this is the style that made the most sense. And then obviously as you get better at things, you don't get faster, unfortunately. They do just take longer because your standards get higher. So that's why we had to switch to every other week. But in terms of what inspired Chosen Ones, I mean, I feel like I've answered this question before. Avatar: The Last Airbender was one of the inspirations, because I just like the idea of a character or like someone like knowing that they are this all-important figure, like having the knowledge and society, and like having a society structured around that was an interesting idea to me. And then I've always just like superheroes and special abilities and stuff like that is fun. So that would I guess be the most direct comparison. Is just, or at least that's what I pulled from inspiration wise, I would say the most vaguely, because it's not like I rewatched Avatar to make the show, but that's kind of where the initial
Foolish.
idea came about.
You should watch it again.
It's a great
Best show of
show.
all time.
But yeah, that's probably the most direct comparison. And then obviously I just pull from media, and it's just a conglomeration of a bunch of other things. Different
Chosen
things
Ones
have...
was inspired by one song.
That is true. The song The Moss is a big inspiration for the show, and a lot of things were based around it because that just helps me have a starting point. if I have something to like listen to and think about the plot for. And then it's fun to figure out how things are related and like change it and stuff. But yeah, there's so many different inspirations that I feel like it would be hard, but they're like specific inspirations for certain things. Like certain characters have certain inspirations and certain plot beats are inspired by certain things, but that we'd be here all day. So overarching would be the Moss and Avatar. But question for the cast, our next question is, what moment from the current season, so I'm assuming obviously season 4, did you like the most? And I'm sorry, I'm gonna butcher your username. Alkaline Wig?
It's Alkaline Wig, yeah.
Okay. I'm very bad at pronouncing things. I do my best. So we'll go top to bottom for the sake of ease here. You can't see it, but Avayath, Jay, is first. So what moment from season 4 did you like the most? From when we started at the spa recapping the whole show to ending at Looking Glass, where everything fell apart.
The thing is that, yeah, it's like I remember what happens, but I don't remember what is what season. So thank you for recapping that part. But for season 4, definitely like Shui's family drama in general within Looking Glass. Oh yeah, I can spoil it. Shunkai's reveal. I was like, can we spoil season 4? Yes.
Yeah,
that one was a big one
today.
You're not safe. Yeah. Maybe Shunkai's reveal. Maybe like the conversation with Mizuni was also like very intense. Maybe.
Jay,
yeah, I'd say maybe
died
like
this season.
Avayath did die.
Yeah, but why would that be his favorite? He fucking died. That's sad.
Yeah, you killed him.
That's a bummer. You killed him.
I mean, you got to do your speech, which I know you were excited about.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a favorite as well. I think Shui's family drama is just on the mind right now.
Yeah, because it just happened. Avayath died like over a year ago.
He died over a year ago.
And his first death happened multiple years ago for us.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like 2023, 2022, somewhere in there.
Whee!
Yeah, now that you brought that back to my attention, I think I'm going to pick that moment. But now I have a second place answer, which is Shui's temper tantrum after talking with Mizuni.
Mhm.
All right, we'll
Good
go
choices, good choices.
to Brandy next.
Oh god. I liked the fucking moment where I like the Grung one shot.
I was
That's the
about to
best
say
one.
that also happened.
Go watch the Grung. Go watch the Grung one shot. It's the only thing worth watching that I've ever done. So go watch.
It was
that.
up for an award. Award
It
nominated.
was up for an award. Yeah, it was nominated for an award. No, but
I wish more people watched it because I love it so much.
it's such a bop. It's great. My favorite moment from this season is probably the scene where Shui gets shot up into the moon because I fucked up and didn't think about the ramifications of stopping the spark.
Yeah, I almost said that was my answer.
Whoops. Yeah.
It was,
was
very
very much
fun
like,
to have you guys
Uh-oh.
think about it for a moment and realize the implications fully, considering Sumi was controlling at least some of the jabbers. So
Yeah. It was very much like, oops, that was a mistake. That was bad. Uh-oh. But it came out really good, so it's fine.
I think I
the
said
other
in
one,
chat I was like sweating though because I wanted you to do it. I was trying to bait you to do it, and you almost used your
Yeah, I
spark.
almost-
You almost used your spark
Yeah.
earlier.
yeah, that would have been bad. And then the other one's probably when Brandy gets his new sword at the end.
Yeah.
You were so
'cause
excited.
I was-
It's so funny listening.
I was
to
extremely excited and I was extremely stressed because I was like, this is like the closest that Brandy's gotten to like dying, like probably if I fuck this up.
I
And
can
he's
tell
like
ya.
really bad immediately.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I wasn't planning on you doing that specifically. I think I told you, I was like, I thought you guys would take it since it was fused to the music box and be like, we don't want to risk touching this right now, and then come back to it.
Haha.
And then you were like, I'm gonna do it immediately, and also I'm not gonna touch it. And I was like, oh, like,
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is because I was like, well, this is this has the potential to be taken at any point through some fucked up means. Like, I don't know any safer place than the sword that I can just make disappear out of existence for forever or however long I want, and nobody can really like take it from me. So I was like, this is like the safest place.
Yeah.
And I love making sure that I keep Cassie on their toes and doing things that they'd never expect me to do, and altering the course of the game. I've done it several times.
Yes, I've had to rewrite the ending of the game a few times because of actions that Ripley has done recently.
Uh-huh.
I remember both Theo and me were so like, oh god, Brandy's about to die, oh god.
Because you're connected to him, so, you know.
You know, I really was not worried about that. I was just worried about Brandy. I was like, Brandy's gonna die. Like, Theo also going down was nowhere in my mind.
I will say little lore reveal. I won't go too much into it since we still don't fully know what it means, but the Blackheart legend lore did specify 5 instead of 6, even though I had you roll 6 things, because it was resist it 5 times and all will be well resist it 1 less and get sent to hell, and the 1 less was the wisdom save, which was the most important one, which you did succeed, luckily. The other 5 were kind of just showy.
Yeah,
So you were probably the best one to do it, because failing that wisdom save would have had some things happen.
Yeah. Thankfully, he's a warlock, so he has high wisdom and high charisma.
I feel like I would have passed my wisdom save though.
You definitely wouldn't.
You do have advantage at least on your wisdom saves.
Theo
yeah, but knowing Zen, it would have been a 2 and a 3.
Knowing Zen, he would have nat 20 and it would have turned into a nat 1.
Yeah, exactly. Sent to super hell.
Super hell.
Turbo hell. Whatever.
Exactly.
We'll move on to me, I guess. Oh gosh, that's hard. I love this season. This season was so good.
Yeah, what's your favorite?
It was.
I really did like the Alia reveal. I'm shocked I got that far, honestly, without anyone being suspicious. But also,
I mean, it did not even cross my mind.
She didn't talk to anyone. And I had very
Essel's always
few.
just kind of been like that.
I had very few hints at all that something was wrong. But it was fun. It was fun to do that reveal. And I also remember being like, oh, that sucked in the moment. And then editing it, it was better. The actual YouTube version of it was my more favorite. But that reveal was really fun. And then also, of course, Abaddon showing up at the compound when Brandy used his spark on him was very
I forgot about that.
That's
That
on my
one was
list.
fun. That's another thing I love doing. I love doing things and just not telling Cassie I'm about to change the course of the session by being like, yeah, I'm just going to call Abaddon here because fuck him. I'm going to see if my spark works. And it did. And it fucking took out like 100-something health
that
of his.
fucking hurt, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, that was great.
Very
That's
fun.
exactly what I wanted.
I like Boogum's comment here. Alia revealed a so and then just frowny face.
It was great. We'll move on to Shui / Zen.
Hi guys. Okay, so can I do one for each character actually? I want to say, okay, so because I have a lot of favorite moments, but so like one of my favorite moments for Theo specifically, it was like so I really like the meditation scene, like when Shui and Theo had like that one-on-one where Shui kind of gave Theo some advice to deal with the feelings that he was having after like having been stuck in that timeline for 3 months. So also I really liked how Shayna handled that, by the way. Like I just think it made Theo feel so alive and real because it was not like a inconsequential thing. Like he was literally there for 100 days. But anyway, I digress. That conversation between them, like even though it was like so small and it was just purely RP, that was one of my favorite moments. For Avayath, his death scene
Yeah.
was one of my favorite moments.
We
Because
love when
little
you
known
die.
fact, although Shui and Avayath are great friends in the show, Zen and Jay are here for a paycheck. They don't really like each other very much.
Oh my God. Don't say
so-
that.
I'm just kidding.
Just tolerate
I
each
mean
other.
Stop.
The smallest
Um,
paycheck to put up with your worst enemy. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm so desperate for money, guys. I gotta put up with Zen just for this paycheck.
That
Oh my
$15
God.
I get a month. Ah, man, it really pulls me through.
For Brandy, him so Shui kind of after the help you part, which is also one of my favorite moments for Shui, help you and his temper tantrum, especially his temper tantrum. I don't know why I like that so much, but
You were so asking me. You were like, when is it? When is it, Cassie? I need to be
yeah,
there.
I was like, when is it happening? When is it? No, but when Shui told the party about his meeting with Abaddon and what happened, and Brandy got so mad and was like, he confronted Abaddon about it, and then everything that happened afterwards, it was just so good. And it really showed that Brandy cares so much for his friends, even Shui. And I don't know, it was just heartwarming. I was like, oh my God, they're ride or die, And the temper for Shui, the temper tantrum scene, even though Brandy and Shui were kind of at ends or whatever, it wasn't out of disdain or anything, it was just Brandy cared for Shui, and it was just I don't know, it felt good. Okay, it was a good scene. I love it.
Someone pointed
It's a
out.
very nice.
Yeah, someone pointed out
Go
in the
ahead.
comments recently how you can still see hints of the Plague Bringer in Brandy sometimes, and it's very fun when Ripley has that come through. He does still have a vengeance tendency at times.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is at the end of the day, yeah, Brandy's trying to be better about it, but it's hard to even when you know how to the tools with a witch to control your anger or manage it better, it doesn't stop it from still coming through every now and then. It's still, he still gets mad, and it's hard to after, because this campaign's taken place over what in world a year.
Yeah.
Not even. It's been
exactly.
Since a month.
5 maybe months.
Yeah, exactly.
Tops.
So he's not gonna be able to unlearn all his entire childhood and growing up in a few months. Even though he's trying as hard as he can to unlearn most of it, and he's done a good job, he's it still comes out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about Brandy in general,
Yeah.
of his I guess I'll say writing for this, is just that he really is, he's still himself, it's just he's trying to be his better self, and I just love that so much. I love when he does get mad,
Stop.
because it's he cares so much. Especially because with the Shui thing, he's getting mad because he cares so much about Shui. So
Yeah.
And then honestly, even I guess the first couple times he got mad, prior to this right here, it was because of he lost people that he cared
True.
about.
yeah,
Mm.
true,
So-
so true, because his first kind of blow up was at Libris, because she was not there to help when the party was getting attacked by Jabber. So
Mhm.
Me kicking my feet.
he got so
and
mad
listening to
because
this.
he's a great character.
Thanks.
Well,
Yeah.
he's also your favorite, so it makes sense why you thought about him this much and put this much depth into
Yeah.
him. And I also specified for this campaign, when I was taking people, to submit people that you really, really wanted to play, which is why I only allowed 1 submission per person when I was taking applications for this game. It's because I was like, if this is going to be for a public game, I want you to play your number 1. I don't want you to submit 5 people just so you hope I pick one because I'll have more choices. I want you to submit who you want to play the most,
Mhm.
Mhm.
Crazy
And,
it almost wasn't Brandy. But anyway,
Yeah.
we should get back on track.
Yeah, those are most of my questions. I mean, sorry, answers to that question.
Those are my questions.
Anyway, now my answers.
Lastly, I just want to throw in an extra. The Grung one shot, EB Shu showing up.
Oh yeah.
At the very end, after Shui fell to 0. That was I literally re-listened to that today.
Oh my god.
It was so
I remember
fun.
getting so off guard when it first happened.
It was
love
such
when
a
Yishu
such
shows
a
up.
fun
So sad.
reveal.
And you didn't even expect that, Cassie.
No, because I wasn't controlling
you?
that one shot. No.
No, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I remember watching it, and like when Shui went down, and Ripley described like lightning crackling around. Like me and you we were both like, oh.
I was like, oh, this backstory episode. I was like, you better not remember this because this will change some things. But
But that was very good. Go watch the one shot. Thanks.
it's a great one shot.
Yeah, very good.
We didn't spoil anything, but it's okay. We
Definitely
expected you to watch things having been here, so.
Yeah.
So my favorite part of the season, it has to be Help You, which I'm really glad you mentioned. I was like, why is no one even mentioning? I'm really glad you mentioned. It's so fucking good. Where he's in all Shui's innocence, he just wants to help Abaddon be better and like do better. But in his wording, he like dooms himself and everyone around him afterward. And it's so good because also the voice acting of Abaddon responding to the I just want to help you. Being like just the laughter, the crazed response is just so good.
That was me, Cassie. I was like, I can't believe
I know
you just
it was.
did this.
I know it was. You were so giddy.
Literally, like
so
in
good.
that moment, we were muted on call because it was just a Shui and it was a Shui scene with Abaddon. But literally in that moment, I was just like, no, what are you doing?
Literally, we were all. I don't remember if Cassie added this in as like any bloopers or anything, but we were all freaking out. Like as soon as Shui said, "I just want to help you," we were just like, "Fuck!"
Yeah,
I think I was like,
mine.
Immediately after I said that, I was like, oh. Like immediately, I was like, oh
but
fuck.
Along the lines of mentioning the voice acting, I will say another just like favorite thing of mine. It really is how good everybody does with the voice acting of their characters in their lines. I know this is like all throughout the show, but I really feel like there's so many really good like stuff, like lines in this season from people, like Avayath's speech as he's dying. Shui, especially when he gets trapped in the moon, like right at the end of the season here, he gets trapped in the moon. It's like, no. This can't be happening, sort of thing. And I was just like, wow, it's so good. Like the voicing is just so good. It just, you really feel the desperation, and I just love it. I would just love it.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, it
We're
really gets you
great.
like wrapped up in the scene and invest in what's
Yeah.
happening because of the intensity of the voices.
Yeah, and sometimes we're like 5 or 6 hours deep when those scenes come up, and we're still going. Like,
Yeah.
That's not even the longest
sometimes I
episode
feel
of
like
Chosen Ones, though.
you can tell pacing wise when I start to speed up a little bit. It's because I'm like, we've been going for a while and we gotta end. Jay's gotta work in the morning.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I got.
Could you imagine if we
gotta-
recorded for like half of a day? That'd be crazy.
I don't even know how many episodes that session's gonna end up being. We have like a 9-hour session that we recorded for season 5. That's gonna have to be cut up somehow.
It's crazy.
It's gonna be that season's mid-season finale, so I look forward to that.
It's
So
gonna be so fucking much.
Yeah. It was really good though, and I'm excited for that.
and Zen was like almost rocking a fever or something, and didn't tell us till afterwards.
Yeah, he was sick. Oh my gosh. Anyway, yeah, that was my answer to my favorite stuff from this season. The help you and the general voice acting and stuff.
That was good.
Hell yeah.
We'll move on to the next question then from Mr. Bakudan, which is, if one of your characters was a flavor of ice cream, what flavor would they be? You can add one topping of your choice. We'll start with Avayath.
I got this question. I got hit with the weirdest sense of deja vu. Someone else said Rocky Road for Avayath, and I was like, yeah, because of Claytor, like because of rocks. Rocky Road is perfect.
And I was looking through the channel. I even checked with Kyle to make sure it wasn't an old question, and I don't think we've gotten this one before. So just you got this question for some reason, I guess, because I don't remember.
From another timeline, I guess.
Such dweebs.
I don't know. I just have this memory. Someone else said Rocky Road. But anyways, that's my answer.
You can add a topping. Do you want to add a topping, or are you just going Rocky Road?
A couple pebbles for flavor, for crunch.
M&M's
maybe
for pebbles.
Like rock candy.
There we go. That'd be strange. Yeah, chocolate with like a sweeter rock candy thing. I guess they're just sugar, but you know.
Yeah, it's just like chocolate on your ice cream. Rock candy just tastes like chocolate.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, you said rock candy. I was thinking Pop Rocks.
No, rock candy's like the crystal. Rock candy's like the crystallized.
Yeah, rock candy's like the crystals.
It's not. It's usually like a fruit flavor.
Well, this one isn't.
Okay.
It might be because I've had Japanese rock candy, and that might be different.
Maybe.
Oh, I've never had it, so I've just not heard of it outside of like a fruit thing. It's always at like science fairs and stuff, or not science fairs, science centers is where I always had it. They have, like, astronaut food and stuff like that. They're like, it's science because you put it in water in a sugar crystal form. This is science.
Oh. Yeah, I think the rock candy I've had is different. But yeah, I'll go with chocolate rock candy if that's a thing.
Brandy.
Brandy's would be Ben and Jerry's topped whiskey biz.
Oh,
because it's
fun.
whiskey.
I like the title, especially in relation to him.
Yeah.
Risky business, like.
Yeah.
I'll answer for Arthur. I don't know if this is allowed, but I'm gonna do it anyway. He would be a banana split with strawberry and vanilla.
Banana.
Wow. That's so interesting. I didn't expect that.
I can see that.
Banana. No, I did a Minion reference. I didn't mean to.
You love the Minions, dude. You're like your little known fact about Cassie is Cassie fucking loves the Minions so much.
It was because when we first started dating, I would send Ripley pictures of Minions all the time, and it's just followed me because I used to do it just to annoy her. I'd be in the Target and take a picture of a Minion and be like, banana, and now it's still ingrained in me. Like...
Now Cassie just does it. Because Cassie loves the Minions.
You made it unironic, Cassie.
Exactly. If you do something unironically, it will become, or if you do something ironically, it'll become unironic with time. So you're just a big Minions head.
It's Shui's turn. It's Zen's turn. Your names are your characters in the server, so I keep calling you your characters.
Oh my gosh.
You made us do that.
said banana split is so funny considering Arthur is split in two technically.
That's actually part of the reason why I picked it, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
So have you guys ever had Blue Moon ice cream?
No.
I've heard of it.
It's pretty freaking good. The one I've had was made with like it was blue ice cream, of course, but like it was made with like raspberry and lemon like flavors infused in it. Oh, it was so good. So I'm gonna say Blue Moon ice cream with topping. For toppings, I would say like fresh raspberries or something like that because they look kind of like kind of bumpy like his sword. I don't know. and they're red.
Reddish,
yeah, exactly. So I would say Blue Moon ice cream with fresh raspberries on top. Yeah.
That's very fun. Theo, perhaps predictably, is cinnamon apple pie ice cream.
Ooh,
Nice.
I would fucking kill for that. Right.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
Yum yum. It's like he would just genuinely eat that. Is the thing. Like his favorite stuff is like cinnamon. He loves pie. He loves apple pie. Yes, Theo.
Zen's gonna vanish during our break to go buy some, and then we'll not know where he is.
Get some from me.
All right.
This all sounds so yummy.
We'll go to the next question then. This one's also from Joker Dino, and it is, if you were to change anything about Chosen Ones, what would it be and why? We'll start with Jay. It can be about your character specifically, something about the show. Hurt my feelings. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I guess we did have a bumpy start with using copyrighted music, and then we had to remake every episode. We did change that.
So solution, we've done it.
That's true. I guess I wouldn't change it because we already changed it. What would I change about Chosen Ones? Sometimes when Cassie is trying to get me to do something, I just don't do it. I just don't take the bait. I guess I would go back and take the bait.
I mean, I could be more blatant sometimes, because sometimes I'm just I have an NPC ask you, or and Avayath in character is just I'll get someone else, or nope.
It really gotta beat me over the head with it.
Character with your responses, but sometimes also the bait I give is not very good. There's gonna be something in season 5 that I offer to Theo that's very clearly a bad thing to do, and Shayna's he's just not gonna do that, and I'm that's fair. That was very clearly a bad thing, and that's fair that you're not gonna act on it, and it might just be an open plot point because it was very clearly a bad thing. So sometimes my bait, I'll tell you after the stream. Sometimes the bait is not very good. But yeah.
No, but sometimes I'm gullible. I'll fall for it.
There's a reason why so many big dramatic scenes do start with Shui, and it's because I know I can get him alone.
Shut up.
So Zen loves to just fuck off and go off by himself.
I'll be
just do things and not tell anybody.
Moment in mind. It'll hit better if a party member is alone for it. And I did kind of make it happen naturally in the first season in terms of Brandy and Theo had their both encounters with jabbers. Shui's was the easiest. Fucking look at this well.
Cool.
So this is okay. Remember when we did that Minecraft stream and we worked together as a group, and I just continued to go off on my own.
Yeah.
I thought it was a Shui thing. Maybe it's a me thing. Maybe I'm the problem.
Half the stream was just screaming at Zen to be where the fuck are you?
If I want something to be kept a secret in the game, Shui's also the best one to tell, because then also will keep things close to his chest forever.
Yeah. There's a problem in our previous game.
What? No. We know what you're talking about.
I also do.
One thing to change in Chosen Ones. That's a good question. I don't know. Fuck. I don't know. Come back to me.
I think we might have answered this before. It sounds, because I think your answer in the past had been either, I don't remember, you'll have to tell me, if either had waited longer to get with Theo, or the opposite, do it faster, and I don't remember which.
I mean, that's fair. Longer may have been more fun to draw that out, but also I was it's gonna happen. There's no way.
From a podcast perspective, it happened 15 plus episodes in. It was fine, it was faster for us because it was only a couple sessions, but for the audience it felt longer. So
yeah. So yeah, I guess that's one. But I Wish Chosen Ones was twice as long. Let's go 10 years. Come on, let's go. 5 more years. Let's go.
I do really want to finish recording this summer, but my work's been killing me, and trying to prepare for the new season and work at the same time. I'm just watch us be recording this in December again.
5 more years. Here we go.
We're so close to being done, you guys, but we're at that annoying point where then things started happening again that I can't do a DM.
We got a lot done at once, at least.
We did record a
5
lot
more
during the
years.
hiatus. That was a big reason why the hiatus was going so long, is because we were focusing on recording the show. But for me, something that I would say is that I still wish this now, is that I was not such a perfectionist and that I could just let things be. The amount of episodes, sometimes there's like 5 versions sometimes of an episode that's exported before it becomes the one that I upload, because I'm so picky, which is why it's crazy when big mistakes fall through. Like, I think there was an episode where the end screen started too soon and I was kicking myself because I was like, no, what's happening? And that was just because I had no sleep and I made that episode too fast because I was trying to get 2 episodes out weekly again to try to get us back on track. And I didn't do a quality check, and you can tell. But yeah, I am a perfectionist. It's something I struggle with. I'm constantly trying to find ways to speed up my workflow, but I'm just not as fast as I used to be. And the episodes are better for it, but I also know because of that, our audience is about half the size that it used to be, because I'm just slower in terms of getting stuff done. But I'm also mentally better about accepting that. And the amount of support that we've had for the Kofi Drive, despite having half the audience that we had for the last Kofi Drive, is amazing that we're already 2/3 of the way there.
Which is still going on, by the way.
It is still going on. There'll be a reminder on the bottom of the screen at some point. The Kofi Drive is still going on until the end of the month. And we have a bunch of the icon rewards left, and one shot, and 2 Avayath songs, too. But yeah, I'd say that'd be my thing, would just be to care a little less.
Who fucking cares? Yeah.
Yeah, whenever I open After Effects, I'm like, why are you doing this to yourself? Like, this scene doesn't have to be in After Effects. Like, and I'm like, but it'd look better. It'd be cooler if it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm learning some tricks to do things not in After Effects to make it so that I don't have to open that godforsaken program. But yeah,
Understandable.
Zen, you're up.
So if I were to change anything about Chosen Ones, I don't think there's a solution to this at this point, obviously. But I somehow would want to reduce the amount of time between where we are currently in game versus where the podcast is. We have such a huge backlog, and I really appreciate that. I think it's helped us out immensely. But also, we'll be wrapping up the campaign sometime this year.
Hopefully,
sometime this year, and it's like wild to me. Right,
5 more years.
It's wild to me to think that like we're still looking at 2 more years of releases before you guys can finally see the ending. Like, that's gonna eat away at me. I'm gonna be like, fuck, I want to talk about it.
Especially with all the
but
stuff that goes on.
Yes. But also, like, it's not just that I want to talk about it. I just want to relive it, I guess.
Yeah, same.
With the music and the effects and everything, and just kind of cutting out all of the unnecessary parts, I guess. Like, just a fully edited kind of episode. Just kind of relive everything, and like, I have to wait 2 more years for that. Like, it's a little selfish because now I'm just like, oh, the episode for me.
Yeah, and now we also don't record with music in the background, so if you listen back, it's like a raw, no music version on YouTube because of the issues with that we've had, where if a cast member wants to go listen to something, a whole session would be
Speaking of that,
unavailable. So.
Speaking of that, after the finale, I was like, I gotta have more. So I went and looked in the and it was blocked. And I was
blocked.
No!
I checked too.
Yeah, I have them unlisted for the cast to be able to reference because we use them kind of also in addition to our notes, and so they get blocked, and then that's not really helpful anymore, is it?
No.
Right.
I can't wait
And
to
it's sad.
release my Chosen Ones notes document at the end of the game.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
So
god.
Of the book.
So many notes. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say with that, Zen, I get where you're coming from, but then also the openings and the endings don't get as many Easter eggs. Just saying.
True. Mm-hmm. But your turn.
Your turn.
Yeah, speaking of the openings and endings. So the thing I would change about Chosen Ones is I would reanimate both season 1 and season 2's openings. They're just so hard to look at for me.
I mean,
I'm just like, man.
They were both built on a very small budget and a dream. So
It's very true.
They
They
were both funded just by me the first 2 times because I'm not going to make you work completely for free. But the budget was very, 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 very small.
It was.
And I was like,
yeah, it was very
do
small.
whatever you have to make this not ruin your like financial situation by working on this longer. So like,
Yeah, I like there's reasons that it's not very good. First of all, I wasn't very good at the time, but second of all, the going fast, the using certain tools that I knew would help me go faster and not get caught up on details, and that's why it looks like that, because I was just like, I just want to get this done. I just want to make sure I get this done.
yeah, I think the first opening also we hadn't recorded very much when you did it, which is why it's so
Yeah,
vague.
We had not. Yeah, it's so vague because I didn't know what the hell was going on. So I was just like, I
I
don't
think
know.
that's also the only one that I gave you an actual like guide for.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because like the following openings, we like worked together on what should be in it, and then I think, was it also season 4? Because I know season 5 I like had complete creative control.
season 4 you also had complete creative control, and I think season 3 too. I don't think we really. I mean, you always show me the storyboards, which is good because when I'm making the ending, I want to try to avoid doing the same things as much as possible.
Yeah, it's always good. I'm always like, you need to know what's in here so that you don't repeat.
There is one scene that's going to be in the opening and ending for the season 5 just because it's such a good visual, but we do it differently enough that it'll be okay.
So keep your eyes out.
But there is one scene that's that's similar enough that people are going to be like, oh, that's the same like area.
Yeah, but I think that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not only that, because sometimes when I'm working on the storyboards, I'm like, I don't know if this is allowed to show in the opening. Let me check, and then I'll show you what I have, and then you'll say yes or no.
Yeah, there was one thing recently that I was like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Like,
well, we'll save it for later. But yeah, if I could change one thing about Chosen Ones, it would be to reanimate the openings of the first 2 seasons, and so the temptation's always there. So
I do like how it shows the progression of the show though as well, because have you seen our first season logo? I made that in like 30 minutes and was like, looks great.
I was also looking at that.
Yeah.
It's fine. Listen,
the amount
this
of
is the start of the
people
podcast.
who didn't realize it was supposed to be a moon until the actual opening played, and then it reveals with the moon, and they were like, "Oh, that's the moon," and I was like, "It's fine." And then I made it very clear after that it was the moon in the following, logos. Can I do that? Can I change the season 1 logo for my?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
you look
well,
pretty
also,
bad.
I want to say thank you to the people who compliment the opening. That's very kind of you, and I'm happy that you're excited about the season 5 opening teaser that came out with the donation drive video. I'm very excited for you guys to see the opening as well. I'm really happy with it so far, and yeah, I worked the hardest that I possibly could work while also being able to do my usual commission work at the same time. So,
hell yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
We'll do the next question. Yeah, the song's a banger. Both the opening and the ending are really good.
Oh my god, I'm so excited! So excited.
We'll move on to the next one, which is question for the cast. Between Avayath, Shui, Brandy, and Theo, who would you say is stronger from Alkaline Wig? We'll just answer this all together, I guess. Let's hash it out. Avayath can one-shot so much shit. His build is disgusting.
Really
Like, it's just... I hate to tell you, Paladins are the strongest class in D&D, pretty much. Like, out the gate. They're so fucked.
It's just it's so amazing to me that Avayath like is continued to be the strongest like throughout the entire show of like he was the hero, at the start, and he like, beat the Avagroom, and all this stuff. And the time goes on, and then he attacks us and we all die. And
literally Avayath almost beat us in a 3v1. Like
it's crazy.
He's just
so strong.
broken.
And he's not like the reveals, I think it was this season, right?
Mm-hmm.
When he fought us. When he fought us, sorry. When he fought you.
Just the whole business with being a chosen one and all that other stuff. It's just amazing that he's better than all of us.
Yeah, and it's like
he does constantly prove himself. It's pretty crazy.
He does, and it's like even though
him one-on-one with the judge jabber.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They were throwing hands. Like literally, he grappled with it.
He did.
He grappled like twice the size.
A crater in the
ground.
In the big room.
Yeah. I was gonna question build wise, sure Avayath, but also lore wise, probably also Avayath. Because he was already this big accomplished hero before the story even started.
Yeah. To be this big hero.
He was the guy that everyone's like, oh, he's probably going to be the chosen one.
There was a prophecy around him, and people interpreted it as he will be a chosen one because of it. So yeah. And then the reveal that he isn't one, and that he still is a huge figure in history, that even Arthur looked up to him, and it was specifically because he was this great person who rivaled chosen ones without being one. It was very good. But yeah, I was I feel like that one's pretty. Ranking's a little harder past that, but Avayath as the number one is easy.
Considering Shui had been god power-esque, somewhere inside. Brandy being all of that. Theo, he has.
Theo does insane damage though. Holy shit! What the fuck? Theo will do so much damage.
I do have to reduce Shayna's turns usually because he's just and now I do this, 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 and sometimes I cut it down where it's just the damage. So.
I literally 100% know, because it's when we're watching, I'm I know I had to do a lot of math for this. I know I was rambling for this. So it's it's a good thing that you edited it down, because it would be so boring of just being and Theo can do this and this and this and this. It's so much.
Yeah. We will go to the next question then, and it is, what is the biggest thing you learned all these years doing Chosen Ones from Mr. Bakudan? We'll start with Avayath. What's the biggest thing you've learned, Jay/Avayath?
The biggest thing I learned.
What have you learned?
I guess the biggest thing I learned is that when it comes to a long-running D&D campaign like this, I feel like what matters more than being good at D&D, being good at acting and improv and D&D builds and all that, is just how well you can get along with the other players. Because I feel like that is what holds us together, is the fact that we're friends and the fact that we don't start fights over petty bullshit. Because, even if I were horrible at D&D, I don't think that would really matter as much. Because if a table's not getting along, I feel like you can kind of sense it.
Yeah. I also over-communicate a lot. If I think you're even slightly upset, I will reach out to be what do I need to change about the game to make you not be? And usually no one's actually upset, but I do reach out if I have a feeling that people aren't 100% like synced in to what's happening, you know. I try to at least.
Yeah, I mean, that is appreciated. Communication is super important. Because yeah, if you don't communicate your frustrations and instead you try to like overthrow what the DM's doing to change the game in your direction, that just backfires like every time, you know. Like if you don't like a certain NPC and you just keep trying to kill them because you don't like them rather than voicing your frustration, you know, then the DM's just gonna not respondable to that kind of behavior.
Yeah.
That was an adorable answer, and I loved it, and we all love each other.
As co-workers.
No.
Ripley. What have you learned?
I've
Ripley?
learned a lot. I don't know.
Too many things,
You learned
right?
how to beat a paladin in a 1v1. No.
Yeah. I've learned how to specifically build a character to defeat Avayath. No. As far as Chosen Ones goes, that's hard. Because I genuinely don't know what I've learned. I don't learn much. I've been perfect from the beginning, so I don't really have anything
It's true.
that I need to build upon or improve.
Ripley's our perfect player. Let's talk about how much we love Brandy some more.
Exactly. Well, one of the things that I wanted to do going into Chosen Ones was try and let myself not be the party face. Then look how that ended up, but you know, because Brandy talks so fucking much, and I didn't mean for him to talk as much as he did.
It's good though, because how would we learn things? How would we learn things if Brandy didn't get nosy?
It's true.
I love it.
Because I mean, in the past we've had, and it's not entirely my fault, but in the past they like with other players and our former friend groups and stuff. People have had problems with me because I talk too much, because I'm a yappy fuck. So I was like, I'll play Brandy. One, because me and Shane had talked about it, and I was like, they'd be fun to play together. But also, Brandy specifically was meant to be much quieter, obviously, much less of a party face, because he is, you know, trying to hide who he was, and is way more like nervous and anxious around like all these people in case like they find out stuff about him. So like trying to learn when to step forward and talk, and also when to shut up and let other people do their thing. I've been trying to be conscious about like overstepping my bounds and like taking the spotlight too much, and trying to encourage other people to be able to talk as well, or like bring other people into scenes as well, because it's just more fun when you have more people in a scene.
Yeah, I mean, part of that's also the DM responsibility, though, which I try to do. Not always. Some people just are more concise with their role play, you know, like you're not always going to have a longer scene or whatever. And like I, you know, feel like some players I can give barely anything and they can go for an hour, and some players I can give a lot and they and they, you know, speed through it and get exactly what they need to do done, and then they're good. And it's and it's just different play styles. But I would say screen time does not indicate how good a player is in D&D. It's just people playing to their strengths and how they prefer to play. And that's just how D&D is. If you play with a friend group, there's some people who talk more and there's some people who talk less. As long as everyone's having fun and the DM is making sure they have those opportunities, that's what matters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was just when Shui was having his moment, and Zen had to be like, guys. And we were trying to give you your moment.
Yeah, we're trying to like let you do your thing.
But I do want to say, story-wise, it's kind of fun, because they were saying, Bugum was saying, Brandy is learning to be social, and I think that's pretty true, because like at the start of the game, he really was much quieter.
He was.
And, you know, he has over time talked quite a lot more, and I love that. And I also love the contrast, because if you look at this party and you don't know anything about them, but you know, like, Avayath is like this boisterous, like, show-off hero, you would expect him to be the party face, the one who's talking all the time, but actually he's usually the one, like, in the back. And I actually think that's kind of really fun to have the edgy guy be like the one who ends up taking it upon himself to, like, kind of take charge, I guess. And then the guy who is, like, supposed to be this famous hero, he actually doesn't do that so much. I actually think that's really fun story-wise.
Yeah, the thing is also, Avayath at the start is more, like, bold with his decision making. Like, and I think it was in season 1, he just tried attacking Aelia out of the blue. And he learns to stop being that cocky over time.
Yeah.
They both
He learns to take a backseat and be like, maybe I shouldn't just attack people on my own.
Yeah, over the course of the game, it's a lot of Avayath learning that he can't solve everything through his own, like, means and his own brute force, while Brandy is rediscovering his, like, confidence, because he wasn't always, like, anxious in this way of, like, scared of talking, because, like, he was the plague bringer forever ago, and he was, like, in charge basically of a bunch of people at a time. Like, so he used to have a sort of commanding, like, presence, but he was like, no, I can't do that anymore. I can't. It's more of like that, I can't be that person anymore. And it's him coming to terms with, like, being comfortable being that type of person again, and doing it for good this time, instead of I mean, at the time he was like, this is the right thing, but, like, doing it in a more, like, obviously productive way.
Yeah.
Good answer.
The question in the chat there with shipping OCs with characters, I assume means, like, popular characters. I think most of us, it depends on who owns the character.
Yeah, we're taking audience questions at the end though. So
Gotcha.
Yeah. But we will going back to this, like, I would say, even though I still don't feel super confident with it, I would say this game has forced me to get better at combat, in terms of running it and trying to make it feel impactful and not just cookie cutter same combats over and over again. I do still struggle with it quite a bit, but I do think I've gotten better, like, in terms of what I have learned as a DM.
Yeah, doing combat in D&D can be hard to, like, make feel engaging at times, unless you're, like, doing, like, changing it quite a bit, or, like, adding different dynamics to it. So, like, you know, it's hard to do.
Yeah, especially when the dice can completely fuck up your plans.
Yeah. Which they do, and you'll see.
Yeah. Especially you. Yeah.
Shui, Zen Shui.
So, the biggest thing that I learned after all these years playing Chosen Ones is, I would say, how to I guess perform or play a character with an audience in mind. Because it allows me to kind of think about, like, previous actions, things that I will do, and kind of make sure everything kind of lines up and flows together, which I think makes for a more cohesive character. And I feel like typically, like, in the past, or, well, I shouldn't say that, in games where it's not, in the past, in games where it's not, like, where there's not a public eye, I feel like I've done whatever I thought was cool in the moment. Like, I personally thought was kind of cool or made sense for the character in the moment, and I still kind of do that. But, like, now I do it with cognizance, like, with just, you know, is this a cool moment? If somebody was watching this, like, an audience like you guys, or the audience, capital A, would this be interesting? You know, does it make sense? I think that's what Chosen Ones has really allowed me to do, and I carry that into games, like, even though games that are not public, like in a podcast form. So yeah, that's what I would say. And also, I like, one thing I like about Shui is how he tends to rap other people into RP, like role playing, like just kind of moments. And I think I feel like I've kind of extended that to my other characters that are not Shui as well, where if I don't know, I just like to interact with people. Well, I just like to create moments that that other players can also engage in and have fun.
Yeah, that's also something that Jay exceeds in games outside of just Chosen Ones, is making sure that all characters are interacted with. Because sometimes it can be a struggle to make PCs interact, especially when they're more cagey. So yeah, that's a good character / player trait to have.
I'll say one last thing, just really quick. I also just really like being able to be a tool, I guess, for the DM or whoever's running the game to to kind of move the story forward or do interesting things. Like
Zen
didn't
know anything about a Bishu. I just did that.
I did not. I did not. You know, I was so down for it. So I just like being.
I knew
like
you would be. I know my players. So
that's all for me.
It's Shayna's turn. What have you learned from Chosen Ones?
So there's two things. On the technical side, what I have learned is how to animate better. Because
I knew that was going to be
specific. Yeah, it is the technical answer. Is because specifically I pushed myself to learn better ways of animating and like using more advanced programs and just pushing myself to do a better job because I wanted Chosen Ones to have better animation. So I was like, that's technically what I have learned. But personally, what I have learned is that things do matter and people do care. Like, I know my character is more of just like a person, like just a normal random person sort of character. Of course, with the addition of being trans and everything. But, you know, it does matter to people the way he is, and people do care about how he is as a person and how, like, all these characters are. Like, people care about these characters, and the things these characters say and do matter to, like, the public. So it's like, I don't know, I just feel like I sometimes forget that there is actually so many people watching. Because most of the time, you know, I'm just playing around, I'm just having a good time. But then I go into the comments and read through the comments on some of these episodes, and I'm like, wow, like people like remember the things that happen. People know what my character is like and how things affect my character, and they appreciate the writing of how he is. So it's just, I guess it just taught me that, you know, it stuff matters.
People
I just
care.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. We'll finish off with this last question, which should be faster, and then we'll take a break before we do Tiermaker, just because we're at the halfway point. But question for the cast from anonymous, whoever you are. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the least and 10 being the most, how much chaos can we expect in this coming season? I feel like we all can say it.
I don't know, 2 for me.
I expected everything that was going to happen. So like 1, like I knew what was going to happen. It's
Nothing really happens. We're actually kind of just standing around.
We're actually just like blowing smoke up your asses. Nothing happens actually. Like we resolve everything pretty like immediately.
The rest of the opening animation is just T-posing.
The moon definitely did not crash or anything like that.
Yeah. Everyone.
So, how's the weather, you guys?
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Like a 10, yeah.
Yeah, it's a 10.
Yeah.
10. It's a 10.
There's straight up shit that like I did not see coming at all. Like there's stuff that happens where I'm just like, huh? Like there are certain answers that get told not that far into the season, I feel like, where I'm just like, you said what? This changes everything. So it's like, I do think it is up there.
Yeah, there's like certain characters that get introduced. There's Just certain.
It's
just
up there with
temp.
like season 2 finale twists. Like it gets pretty insane.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
For me, it's like an 8 because Cassie did spoil things for me before they did certain things.
I don't even remember. And then you weren't as surprised.
Remember doing it.
You weren't as surprised.
And
when
I was
something
like, I knew
happened.
this was coming. So
And I was like, I
for
told
me,
you?
it's like an 8.
Like-
But like, yeah, for me, it's like an 8. But if I didn't know, it'd be like a 10.
I straight up didn't remember telling you, and you were like, "I knew this was
It's
gonna
so
happen."
funny.
And I was
It's
like,
so
"Why
funny
did
that
I
you
tell
completely
you?"
forgot
Like,
that you told me that. I know why you told me, but I can't say on stream.
I forgot. I forgot that I told
Yeah.
you.
Yep.
I was like, "Dang it."
It's okay. It's a 10 for the rest of us.
It's fine.
But yeah, we'll take a quick 5-minute break, and then we'll come back for the first Tiermaker that I'm gonna set up while we're away. So I'm gonna mute us and put us on our BRB screen, and I'll see you guys in 5 minutes.
See ya. Bye.
Hold
See
on,
ya.
I gotta mute us.
I believe in you.
Nope.
Hello, it's me now. I was making sure that the cast could be heard. We're gonna go to
Hello.
Tiermaker, everybody. Everybody. Look, there's a little me there now, too. Actually, hold on. Now that we're actually all here, maybe I'll scoot myself over. I'm blocking a couple.
Oh my god, Conscience is on screen. That's so cute.
I decided to add him at the last minute just because he was more present there a little bit at the end. It's okay. Theo can be closer to Brandy. I'm sure he doesn't mind.
And I knew there was going to be a typo somewhere in there.
Where is it?
At the top.
What does it say?
Well, it says family dynamic, and
that's not a typo. That's just the wrong one.
Oh.
You see.
Okay, we'll put the right one on. You see.
Spoilers.
This is
my favorite show, Family Dynamic.
With the Avatar and the Airbenders.
The Avatar and the Family Dynamic.
Spoilers for a tier list that's coming later. It's because I didn't know what was still on that screen. It was I can't check it until we change to it. So I didn't know what the first one was. But yeah, we're gonna start with Avatar. And yes, it is the new icon for Brandy. I know, unfortunately, we have so much fucking art of the other one, because he looked like that for so long. So a lot of the time, even in the Kofi drive, I was like, I'm sorry, Ripley, I'm not redrawing him. I'm using the old Kofi drive tokens for this because I am not, or I think this was a Kickstarter that I made those, but I was just like, I'm not, anything I can to make sure this comes out in a week, like.
You know.
Yeah, so the cast is going to be looking at the live stream for this, so they'll be a little bit delayed. But I am up to date, so everyone's just gotta trust that I'm putting people where we say that we're putting them.
Not trust.
So first up here is Shui. I feel like Shui's pretty obvious.
Water.
Yeah, he's an earthbender, clearly. His
Shui
whole thing is rocks.
Shui feels very waterbender. Brandy, I actually am a little, I don't know.
He's a funny guy.
Energy bending is the thing that, like, Aang does to, like, turn people.
I would say firebending.
Well, no, energy bending is, like, used to, like, turn people's bending off, which is why I was thinking that could work for Brandy because he turns people's sparks off.
I'm thinking he fits firebender in terms of like firebenders tend to be more temperamental, tend to be more it's like a destructive element.
Yeah, Brandy goes from like Zuko to Iroh over the course of his character arc.
Yeah. Well, see, hot chocolate, you might be saying air just because I've colored that purple, which is Brandy coded.
True. So he's an airbender.
I considered Shui for air just because Shui kind of gives me Aang vibes.
Yeah.
He's so water. He's water in his design.
He's super water coded.
Yeah, he is very
water. Like.
There's the Flow of All Things album, which is very water coded. But there's also Ibishu with lightning and stuff like that. So I don't know. So she's the Avatar.
Fire for Brandy.
You'd say fire for Brandy. That's fair.
Probably.
Avayath. Avayath feels air to me.
He feels more earth. To me.
Yeah, I was
thinking
because he's more aggressive.
Because he flies around, but Earth makes sense.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's more like his whole thing is being bulky and sturdy and
worshiping
fucking
Claytor,
and he worships the Earth God. Like, yeah.
If he was the chosen one, he could be put in Avatar, but he's not.
But he's not.
He's not. He's specifically not. So unfortunately, no, can't go there. Theo.
Honestly,
Earth because he's grounded.
I would say Earth. Yeah, I would say Earth.
Earth because he's grounded. I guess he does work with like plants and stuff. So
exactly.
Yeah, he loves the plants.
Plants. I think plant bending actually is
water.
Is a waterbender's ability specifically.
True.
So like if he works with plants, like his whole thing, he'd be a water.
Poison also is like liquidy.
So yeah, Theo would probably be
like
more
that
waterbender.
answer way
Remember,
better.
water also includes blood bending, if anyone fits into blood bending later. And earth bending also includes like sand and metal and
sand. Yeah.
There's the lava. But yeah, Theo.
Almost
I'm
considered.
So glad.
Yeah, I almost considered Chewie for fire as well because fire extends to lightning.
Yeah, it does.
True. But yeah, I like Theo being water for plant bending because I was like, earth benders, like, personality-wise and
Don't really
fit.
fit.
It's nothing like Theo. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're at
Druid Brandy.
Druid Brandy.
Druid Brandy. He's the Avatar dude. Because he's a druid. He bends all the elements.
I'd say Earth.
That makes him the Avatar. Yeah.
Earth.
He's way more
Yeah.
like, you know.
Pirate Chewie
Earth.
still feels water to me.
He's a pirate. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It doesn't really change much.
We got.
Could have had like a non-bender type thing.
Oh, I can
but
add
I guess
that.
it doesn't. Not super necessary.
How do I add a row below? Or I guess it did above. Oopsie.
You fool.
Non-bender. How do I?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Here's the tech issues. Down. Okay.
It's okay. You'll get there.
Where'd evil Avayath go?
Avayath the Undead Slayer, but emphasis on the undead and not the
Yeah,
Slayer.
the undead slayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fire.
I feel like
maybe?
he'd be either fire
en-
or like energy, because
Yeah, or energy.
you know, this whole thing is taking lives, taking things. Out.
We'll put him in energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no like darkness element here.
He could be.
No,
he could
dude, I'm a
be-
fucking dark bender.
He could be air because that's like the opposite of like earth, like elementally.
I don't
Plus
think
like
he
the,
fits.
Our
plus
benders
the-
are
He
like
doesn't fit the
not at
vibe.
all.
True,
his
but also
vibe.
like Zahir and Korra was kind of
like, yeah, I guess, but like, no, he's like
Well,
way
here's the-
too like.
Yeah, this
He's more
Avayath
a Mon than a
specifically-
Zahir.
Yeah, he hated Chosen Ones specifically and wanted to like take their status away as
Ability,
Chosen
yeah.
Ones. Yeah, he wanted to take their abilities. So I feel like Energy Bender from that angle makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, exactly.
What about Plant Theo? I don't know. That's not Professor
Professor
Theo.
Theo.
Professor Theo, yeah.
Professor Theodore.
Professor Theodore, I would have to put in non-bender.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Mhm.
he's just like a college professor.
I'll just here's Twink Avayath. There we go.
Exactly. He's the Avatar, obviously. Like we all know this.
with his fucking slingshot. Yeah.
I forgot you guys
Like,
are
come
playing,
on.
but I hope you all know where I put him. Like,
Yeah, we know.
Yeah,
Like,
I
come
know.
on. There was no
It
no
can be
question about
assumed.
it. We know.
are we gonna put another Shui into water?
Ninja Shui could be. He could be air. Like, I
Air
don't
might
know.
work for the stealth
Uh,
element.
Yeah, I feel like he could
That's
be
kind
air.
of
Maybe.
what I thought too.
That's fair.
You
Sure.
get one non-water Shui.
What would you give him? What would you give? What would you give? Ninja Shui, Ripley.
I don't know, because that's the thing is like there aren't like I'm trying to think of like stealthy type characters, and the only ones that I think of are the non-benders, like the Kyoshi warriors,
Oh yeah,
Mm.
doing their whole flips and skips and dips.
he could be a
whatnot.
non-bender. He's an assassin or whatever. You know.
Yeah,
Do you think he's a non-bender?
he feels more like Mai
I'll move him
Like,
to non-bending.
or Ty Lee.
hmm
And
Interesting
then
this time on so many non-benders.
we've got
Mm.
poison.
Yeah,
like-
poison apple Theo. I also
Yeah.
think it's a waterbender because
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't he be? He's a
Um,
chosen one, so wouldn't
He's the
he
chosen
be?
one though.
Yeah, but not all chosen ones are the same. Is the
Not all
thing.
chosen
Sure.
ones
Like-
like the Avatar.
like not all. Well, that's true. Like not all chosen ones feel like the Avatar
That's
in what
fair.
they do. Like Theo
he can
Yeah.
still
doesn't
be water.
control great power. He does poison specifically.
He does
You know.
Yeah.
poison aura, so yeah.
Though in fucking Avatar, what's it called? Fucking in Legend of Korra, 4th season. What's her name? Kavira. She uses like bends mercury to poison people. So it could be a
Yeah.
bender.
No,
Yeah.
I do like the argument in the chat saying air bender because of the
Yeah, like
poison
noxious
air.
fumes and things like that. That
I
is
guess
also
I'll go
fair.
with that because my thought was waterbender poison being
Mhm.
liquid a lot of the time.
The
But
poison
also
for Theo.
he-
Theo's poison.
Yeah, but also his ability melted off Flint's skin in the fucking
Yeah.
when they first went there. So maybe he is the Avatar.
Oh God.
That wasn't.
Yeah,
no, that wasn't
fits the most.
Theo. I think that was.
I know.
Anagram.
It was,
yeah.
Well, it was a mix of the two. He was stuck in both their auras, basically. Just got melted.
We got Wolf here.
I mean, like,
I feel fire.
Fucking, yeah, he's just an big angry man.
If we, the justification for regular Brandy and Wolf is the same, so.
Yeah, it'd either be that or like energy, like undead Avayath.
I don't know where I'd put
Yeah.
Zyri.
Zyri.
Non-bender.
Yeah, because
He's
I was gonna
pathetic.
say, like, what the fuck does he do
Yeah.
other than like get run over by carts?
I love him.
Yeah,
I was
he
like,
feels
I don't.
more
He
like-
doesn't really feel like. No, not fire. This
Like-
man's got no passion. Like.
Yeah, as far as he goes, like he's pretty like.
He's a bender, but he just never bothered trying figuring out.
Yeah,
which
so
one
we just
he
don't
has.
know.
Win.
Win would also be a non-bender.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, he has
lore-wise.
to. Technically speaking, he
Lore-wise.
specifically has to be.
Despite
non-bender.
having been quote unquote the Avatar.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I could also argue energy bender for him because his
I was
spark
gonna say that
is.
as well.
Well, yeah,
um,
his spark specifically takes other people's powers away.
I'll put him in energy bender with evil
Yeah.
Avayath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They both take people's sparks away. It's just one guy has a much more violent method.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have Winona, and I'm gonna move Libris up because I feel like we can place them both. They feel a little different. I would
I think they're
argue.
Yeah.
water.
Airheaded.
I would argue.
Well, with
Libris feels more.
Libris feels like an
air.
airbender versus. I mean,
Winona feels more
she's
water.
in the mood.
Winona feels more water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Titus
dude.
feels
Airbender.
fire. No,
Titus is an
Well,
airbender
Yeah,
because he
takes
takes
people's
people's breath
breath
away.
I-
We
yeah,
watched like
Airbender would
people
work
do
for
that.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like he
Um,
has like he
That's his
does
just
have
go-to
water abilities,
move.
but it's just not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His go-to move is like, and now you can't breathe anymore.
Peter.
Someone in the chat said water, and I can see that, but yeah, I agree with air.
Yeah.
Peter does feel kind of Avatarish to me because he's indestructible.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say
I-
Avatar. Sure. Yeah, I could say that.
Sure. Peter can be the Avatar, I guess.
I
Whatever.
He
guess
does the
Peter-
avatar save when he's pissed.
Whatever.
Miffy. Miffy feels kind of non-bender to me.
He feels
I
non-bender. Yeah.
agree.
He's just hanging out. He just wanted to work at the spa
He just
for free.
vibing.
Well, he was paid in terms of his like he got a place to stay and all that for
No.
not free because he was working, but you know,
No.
he just wanted help.
The
and
Avatar.
yeah, Melrin's the
Merlin's the
Avatar.
Avatar, yeah.
Melrin, sorry,
Merlin.
Merlin.
Melrin's later.
This is what happens when you name
This is what
1,000
happens
characters
when I
very
have
similar things.
100 characters in one game. Is there some of them are gonna sound a little similar?
Yeah, Merlin, Melrin. You know.
Magic Man. I would.
That's
See,
tough.
Magic Man is like a bender. That's weird.
Thinking of him as a bender
I
at
feel
all feels strange. Maybe
He's like
energy.
a spirit. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say maybe
Energy
energy
feels
to
the
me.
best.
Energy
Yeah.
feels
Probably.
the best. Yeah. Essence.
She feels. No,
I feel
like
like it
essence,
could be
essence,
argued
or
air.
Or yeah,
I could
either
see that.
air or
Because
earth.
when she misses, it still hits. It's like it's
Being
hitting with air.
manipulated, kind of. Yeah.
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 Like it doesn't
That's
physically
fair.
hit, but you still have the like damage from it.
Mhm.
Ibishu, water. Hello.
No.
No.
I would say he's a lot of lightning,
Fire,
so maybe
yeah.
fire.
Yeah, I was gonna say fire
Okay.
because he's very
the god of
angry
lightning.
and he uses lightning, like yeah, which is the firebender's ability.
But he is very
Ironically.
water. Maybe he's the Avatar.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
because he also uses earth and.
I'll put him in fire.
Yeah.
Drug is earth. Like
Earth is
I
the
mean,
obvious answer, but the avatar is the one that the audience wants to see.
they do want to
Yeah,
probably see
definitely.
Draga in the Avatar spot. I almost said state.
Yeah, dude, give Dragon the Avatar state.
I want to see
bro.
Dragon in the avatar state.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Arthur.
Energy
That's fair.
Yeah.
Abaddon.
What I
takes
do.
away your soul.
Yeah.
Abaddon.
The Avatar.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Yeah.
Like he could do
Listen.
anything.
He can do
Yeah.
anything.
The guy that shouldn't have been the Avatar, but did.
Yeah.
yeah,
Abagrim.
fucking evil avatar.
I'd argue. That's interesting. I don't know, cause he does like necromancy stuff too. For
Firebender
Abagrim.
with Firebender with Brandy.
He feels kind of like fire in terms of attitude.
But also fire is
No.
more like it can be associated with like life energy, like
Yeah,
not energy.
that's one of
but, like,
fire's
life.
main things. Is that it's like life force.
We'll put him in fire. I'll move Abishu over so he could be next to his son. Dashi feels water to me.
Non-bender.
Or non-bender. I guess non-bender.
Because like she's a teacher of the sword singers, but she's not.
She's not,
One
yeah.
of them.
One of them. Yeah.
So I feel like she's non-bender.
And then
Estel?
yeah. I wanted to say Essence so bad. Estel.
Oh.
Astal.
Maybe
Estel.
water? Because my thing is her thing's like divination.
Water could
and
be like
stuff.
divination. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nope,
That's fair.
not fire, water. Okay. Sumi.
Fire, because she's angry. No. Sumi is probably water, right?
Yeah.
If it water
I guess
coded.
be water.
Because her and
I
Shunkai
can see
are
it.
like the koi. They're like the koi swimming around.
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh my god! Now they have to. Yeah.
Oh.
And then one of them gets killed and goes into the moon.
That is literally true. It happens.
One of them gets killed, and then Shui goes to the moon. And Melrin,
I don't know.
non-bender maybe.
I really don't
yeah, 'cause,
remember
like I
seeing
don't
much
know.
of
I don't know. I like the way
She
water
fights
feels.
physically.
She does fight
Yeah.
physically, but
Like I don't.
I'd
She
say
feels like
lives in the
sh-
water.
non-bender.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like I don't want to pick water just because she's a Triton.
Yeah, I'd
That's
say
right.
non-bender for her because she doesn't have a spark that we know of at least.
Yeah.
And you know, she didn't do a ton. Her trainer, you know, also was gonna try and kill her, so probably didn't train her that well.
Mine feels like
I
an
think Nine's
airbender.
the Avatar. Oh.
Oh,
Mm.
interesting.
We
They
all
are-
Nine is like an
disagree.
airbender
They are
because
the
of his
leader.
attitude or their attitude.
They are like the leader of.
Yeah, 9 is a powerful figure, so I thought about Avatar. I thought about Earthbender as well, just like a very showy metal bender.
Mm.
I think I can agree on
We'll
Avatar.
put them in Avatar.
They get the W this time.
Oh, Jeremiah agreed with me on Earth.
Shenkai.
Water. Or non-bender, but like
You
I
just
was-
want him
I
to
was
be
thinking
next to Sumi.
non-bender.
I do. But
He feels
I
non-bender.
I feel like Earthbender. I was gonna say Earthbender because he's really stubborn.
I guess. We'll put him in Earth. Rue. Now she is very
wonder.
fire, but
Yeah,
I was gonna
is
say,
that
I
where
wonder.
she goes?
I would
Yeah.
say yeah.
Okay.
I think she's passionate.
Yeah.
Mizuni. Water.
Water.
Yeah. Wow. Gee, the sea god. I
Look,
wonder.
it's the moms. There they are. Next
There
to
they
each
are.
other. King Larkspur.
The app
Non-bender, 'cause
non-bender.
fuck him.
Non-bender because fuck him. Yeah. Like he wants to be special
Non-bender 'cause
so
fuck
bad.
him.
Yes.
He's the
And
kind of
we can't
motherfucker
say
who would be-
otherwise, 'cause
He's the kind of
we have
motherfucker who would
True.
be non-bender, but he would pretend to be a bender.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is all we can say at the end of it.
He sure
Riddle.
isn't chosen. You're right.
Earth.
Someone in the chat was
Riddle.
like, Cassie's gonna put Riddle in non-bender.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but like, no, I
No,
say
he's
Earthbender. I say Earth.
He's Earth because he can't get knocked over.
I guess.
He can't get knocked over.
True.
Like Tremors.
Yeah.
He's also
kinda.
really fucking stubborn.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Maybe this is a Cassie trait, you guys, about being stubborn, but...
The person in the chat specifically said because Cassie doesn't like him, that's why he's gonna.
Yeah.
That's why they're gonna play Riddle and non-bender.
I don't dislike him. I also don't like him.
You just don't care about him.
So what we know about Flynn right now is that he was like piloting a body or whatever. Like it was like body double.
Body double was the name of his spark.
Waterbender for like
bloodbending.
Bloodbending.
Oh,
I could see
true.
that. Yeah.
True.
We'll do that.
I was thinking energy, but yeah, that.
I feel
Yeah.
like Alia would be waterbending then for that because she like merges, so like controlling.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I agree.
Yeah, that is. Fun.
He told me.
So I'll say airbender.
Yeah,
Oh,
a lot of
yeah.
like the
Yeah.
flowy movements and like
Yeah.
the fans and whatnot. It feels very airbender.
Yeah.
Seika.
I can't say. God damn it. I'd say waterbender. She likes to heal rather than hurt people. You know.
Yeah,
That's
I was gonna say like energy bender, but not like in the same way like most energy benders we see in the series are, but like how Ty Lee fights.
Oh, Tyler.
How she like blocks people's their pressure points to make them stop bending and like collapse basically because of her.
I kind of like energy bender because Seika's a pacifist.
Yeah.
So
she's
taking
trying
people's
to-
bending away,
yeah.
is kind of makes sense for a fighting style for her. Yeah,
Okay.
we'll go with. I want to switch to energy bender.
Okay, I've
Yeah.
moved it. I was just checking if there was a way to put them all back without resetting, but no, I'd have to upload them all again, so I'll just have to drag them all out when we're done. Rush.
Rush feels like firebender to me.
It felt like airbender, either fire or air. Yeah.
I'd
Just
say
their
air.
Rush
attitude.
is
Yeah, they're very lax
yeah.
I'd say air.
and very excitable.
Marky Manville.
Mark me, Manville's obviously the Avatar. Like we all know this.
Yeah, Avatar.
Like everybody.
He would say he is.
Yeah, exactly.
The
Them
Avatar would
being like-
disappear, and he'd be like, "It's me."
The Avatar. I told you all this time.
Marky Manville.
I'm the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah. Yeah,
They're
Marky Manville's
begging.
the Avatar. Go ahead.
I'll just put him in there for fun.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's what he'd be.
Conscience.
I mean, water.
Yeah, made of water.
Yep.
Right, maybe water.
That was fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm gonna move us to the chatting screen while I organize the next one. Let me turn
Take a
off.
screenshot.
Okay.
Take a screenshot.
Hold on. Let me turn off the answering Patreon
Twice I
questions.
could do it.
We have a lot of water benders, but it makes sense because characters related to Shui tend to be water themed.
Yep. That's how it
Sure.
goes.
I gotta.
Do. Hold on. I got the screenshot.
Mhm.
I'll put it in our chat for now, so I don't have to switch between Discord servers. And then I'll move them all down. We got through that pretty fast. That wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do
Yeah.
I?
honestly think-
Oh, I do
I
have to
honestly
just.
think I should have had Theo in non-bender, but it's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay. I do
That's
have to just re-upload them all. It won't let me drag them out. So hold on.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can just drag your mouse across and, they'll just upload them all at once.
Yeah, I know. It's just they're in different folders, so that way I know like priority.
Oh.
So if I had to take some out, it's easier for me to not use them all.
Gotcha.
Is the reasoning.
That's fair.
So it won't take that long, but it will take a little second to put them all back in.
That's fair. That's fair.
Ba-boop-ba-doo,
What do you think your
ba-doo.
next campaign character's bending type is going to be without saying who they are or anything
Fire.
like that? Fire? Yeah. Of course, yeah, fire.
Fuck
fire.
I know immediately.
Yeah. Honestly, I already told Cassie my concept. I would say Earth.
Earth, huh?
I would say
I
Earth
have
makes
no
sense
idea
for what
I'm
you
gonna
gave
play
me.
next.
Yeah.
I keep going back and forth. So I have no idea.
Yeah, I've also been going back and forth. If I were to, I'm between like 3 characters basically, but the list keeps growing because I keep thinking of other characters that I'd want to play. But the one Cassie wants me to play the most would be an energy bender.
Ooh.
Don't pick them
Yeah.
just because you know, because you're in the game. Like you don't have to cater to me. Like
Yeah, but like also it'd be funny to play them. So.
It would be funny. Given the things that you know about the next game, it would be funny.
Yeah. It'd be very funny. Be funny silly.
Also,
it would be kind of funny.
I'm trying to get this all copied over. Yeah, Jay's been pretty locked in for a while.
Yeah, Jay knew
For
who was
years,
gonna play in campaign 2 when we started campaign 1, like
Well, literally,
Yeah.
it's been years since you've decided.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ever
It's
since
just
we were
because,
yeah,
like,
we'll probably do another.
if you told me that this podcast would go on for 5 years, I would have chosen this other character.
Yeah.
But,
But
I kind of just picked Avayath on a whim.
Avayath fits so well
Yeah, he
for
really
this
does.
concept. I can't imagine you playing
Thematically.
someone else for this game.
See, that's the thing is like, if me and Jay went with our first characters, we would have basically like swapped
Kinda.
roles.
True.
That's funny.
True.
Because like the first character I was gonna play in this game was gonna be a paladin.
Yeah.
But
Now it'd be a vengeful rogue instead of a vengeful warlock.
yeah, so we would have pretty much.
All right,
swapped
we're ready to go.
completely.
I gotta switch the avatar thing at the top. Hold on. Goodbye, avatar, and hello, family dynamic.
Wow,
Oh.
family matters.
All right, so we'll start with Shui. Where are you gonna go, Shui? We
Gee, I
got
wonder.
categories are depressed wine mom,
Uh-huh.
dad who's at work, parent sibling, chaos child, neglected child, golden child, and the dog.
Yeah, I wonder. Shui.
That's my mom.
Chaos
Yeah, Shui's the
child.
wine. Huh? Yeah.
Yeah, chaos child was going to be /destructive, like chaos destructive child, but when I put it in, it cut destructive in half as a word, and
Yeah.
it looked bad, so it's just chaos child now.
Yeah, chaos is fine.
Yeah, Violet Arts agreed. Yeah, Boogum also agrees.
Brandy, neglected child, or dad who's at work.
Yeah, either of those works well.
Which one would you
I would
say?
lean towards neglected
I
child.
would lean towards neglected child, unfortunately.
Definitely.
Avayath, golden child.
Avayath.
Golden child.
Golden child.
I mean, like, come on.
Theo feels like parent sibling to me, but I don't know if that's where Shayna would put.
Okay, so growing
Yeah.
up, Theo was neglected child, and then he ran away from that, and now as he's with his friends, he's the parent kind of. Like, I always explain how he hugs people to be a
Yeah.
very parental hug, so I
Mhm.
think he's in parent.
Parent
Yeah,
sibling.
parent sibling.
We got
Yeah.
Druid Brandy.
The dog.
The dog.
The dog, yeah. Yeah, the dog.
He's druid. Like, yeah, he's the dog.
The dog.
It is true.
That's so good.
Die as a...
Yeah. He died as a big T-Rex and then fucking
Big dog.
He died. Like,
died as a big dog.
yeah.
We got Pirate Shui.
Neglected child.
Neglected child.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
I mean,
Really sad.
technically
Or just
all
chaos.
Shuis, maybe. He could be chaos. But also
If there's a neglected child Shui, it's gonna be, Ninja Shui.
Ninja Shui.
Yeah.
True,
Uh,
true. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
I could also see him as golden child in this form.
I
if
would,
he's with
yeah.
four.
Yeah.
I'll move
'Cause
him
of
to
his
golden
skeleton buddies.
child.
Yeah.
Sure.
He
Yeah,
like
his
shoot.
competition
So
is
Pirate Shui,
skeletons.
Pirate Shui doesn't have like any. I mean, he has his own issues, of course, but like he's just happy. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
vibing.
Just vibing at it. See,
Yeah.
SpongeBob laughing. We got Avayath the Undead Slayer.
Yeah,
Hmm.
speaking of issues.
Yeah, speaking of neglected children.
Depressed wine mom feels kind
Yeah.
of
depressed
accurate.
wine mom.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
how
let's
his
go with that one.
parents were in that one. So
I'd say more like
They were
Uh,
really hard on him. Like
Yeah.
they
would you
forced
say
him to train.
neglected child
Way
or
too much
depressed
pressure.
wine mom for this Avayath? I haven't been wine mom for now.
We'll go with neglected child, I think, because he
Okay.
is quite literally a neglected child. Well, Maybe not neglected. Whatever.
They focused on him, but they neglected his emotional needs.
Yeah.
We got Professor Theodore.
Dad who's at work.
Yeah.
Cool.
That
No.
feels
Like-
kinda.
He's always working in the
No.
college.
I want to put him also in parent sibling.
That's fair.
That's fair.
I can put him there. You get the final say since it's your OC.
Yeah, because, I mean, he's still, he has his students and everything.
Where's
Yeah.
average normal child for Twinkabot?
Yeah.
The dog.
Where's Twink?
The dog.
The dog.
Why is your dog so skinny? What is wrong with your dog?
Eat your dog.
It's that picture of the deflated...
Where would you put him, Jay? Dad who's at
I
work.
want to put him in the dog because it's funny.
Okay, I'll put him in
That's
dog.
fair. Yeah.
We've got Ninja Shui, which we already kind of
Neglected
talked
child.
about. Yeah. Wolf.
I mean, like, he's also just neglected, but also he was. One might say he was chaotic throughout
I'd
most
say
of his
chaos.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah, like.
Dad who's at work. He's
Not the
busy.
fun kind of
I'm kidding.
chaos.
Yeah, Dad's busy.
Poisoned apple.
Neglected child.
Yeah, I would say neglected child.
That's
Mm.
fair.
I might
Zyrie
say
feels
depressed
like
wine mom,
depressed
but-
depressed
Dad at
Oh,
work.
wine
he's
mom.
depressed.
Or
Yeah,
depressed
wine
wine
mom.
mom, yeah.
Zyrie feels like depressed wine mom. Peter feels like dad who's at work.
I was literally about to say that. I was like, Peter's the
Yeah.
dad. Does that work? And if you think about it, when the Abergrim was front facing, he was like gone.
Yeah.
Like, well, the
Yeah.
quote unquote.
I'm at work.
Yeah, I'm at work.
I'm picking up milk and
Peter does
cigarettes.
also kind of work for wine mom, but I think he fits
Yeah.
more as dad who's at work.
Yeah,
Abaddon.
the dog.
Chaos, maybe. Or the dog, yeah.
Yeah, I consider Chaos Child or Dad is at work just a really bad
Neglected
job.
child.
I feel like neglected child.
Yeah.
He feels like he's throwing a tantrum. A
He is.
tantrum that's affecting everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Merlin feels like depressed wine mom to me.
I mean, yeah, look at her.
She's dressed like one.
Yeah.
When
Chaos child.
I wanted to put him in the dog, but that feels mean.
It is mean.
But like,
Yeah,
it doesn't have to
Peter's
be like
therapy
he's just
dog.
happy, you know. He's just like really
It's because
positive, like
his,
you're like a golden
his-
retriever.
if he could go to the keep, his animal would be a golden retriever.
A golden
Uh,
retriever.
so-
Yeah.
I'll put him in.
Oh, someone
Chaos
said Golden Child for win. That's also not bad.
Well, he wasn't the
Well,
golden child in his family.
Oh,
yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to go based off his family, it would be neglected
We'll
child. No. Winona.
That's
Golden
neglected
child.
She is a
Yeah.
neglected fucking child. They just
Yeah.
stuck her in the moon.
Yeah.
But she's
Yeah,
also
Blue
like
Gold's right on that
not
one.
because they don't like her.
They
but
like her too
because,
much.
They sent
They
her
like her
ass
too
to
much.
boarding school.
Like...
I'd say neglected just because of her situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Arthur feels like depressed wine mom and dad who's at work and neglected child.
Oh my
Yeah.
And the
God.
dog.
I'm actually
Yeah.
conflicted between dad who's at work. I actually kind of like he is definitely depressed wine mom, but like we're balancing like him like always being drinking and then him like hard at work, like holding himself away.
I feel like that's the
ignoring
middle
everyone.
ground for him because between like neglected child and depressed wine mom is like dad who's
Yeah,
at
dad
work.
at work.
Yeah, I think he's
Yeah,
dad who's at
because
work.
also his whole thing revolves around like mechanics and stuff, and that's very dad.
Yeah.
That's very dad.
I would say for Titus, neglected child.
Wow, no
Oh,
way,
yeah.
really, Titus? That well-adjusted boy.
Libris feels like golden child. She's out living her life. Like
Yeah, she's
yeah.
having a fun time.
Magic Man, dad who's at work.
The dog.
Yeah, dad who's
Yeah.
at work. Like you try to call him, you try to go and visit him.
Not right now.
I'm
You can't talk to me. I'm busy.
Miffy feels.
getting milk and cigarettes. You can't talk to me.
I'd say
Golden Child.
Maybe I would say golden only because like I feel like
He goes
mom and
above and
pop
beyond.
Avayath love Yeah, Mom and Pop Via really love.
Yeah,
Nathan.
they're like, this is the child we've always wanted. The second child we've always wanted.
Wow, you guys fucked up.
Second child.
Abigrim is dad.
I'm
is at
leaving
work.
forever.
The dog.
I said dad is at work.
That's also
Oh
fair.
my gosh.
Yeah.
I do love
He is
it.
at work.
Yeah, when Peter's front facing.
Dashi.
Wine Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, wine mom, depressed wine mom.
Essence is
Very
parent
true.
sibling. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
definitely.
Ibishi's chaos child.
Yeah.
I was,
But for a whole different
honestly,
reason.
I'm like, it's between that and parent sibling because of just how much he like takes care of Shui. You know what
That's
I mean?
fair.
And not just Shui, but like also like
He
some
does
other
have
people,
big
too, like in
tantrums.
his own ways.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah.
whenever he's front facing though, he's always throwing some sort of tantrum and is really pissed off.
True.
Like,
it's just
so-
that his what you would consider that's like to everyone else because to what you might consider his sibling, he's always like, "Let me take on your burdens. Let me take care of it."
Yeah,
So I think it could go either way.
that's
Estel,
fair. It just
whoever
feels
said
like more
wine mom
chaos.
is correct. Estel is going into wine mom.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was very quick to
be so for
guess.
real. There's literally nowhere else that she could go.
Draga feels golden child to me.
She does.
That's fair.
Not chaos child.
I guess chaos.
Why is she? Yeah,
I guess chaos.
Depends on what
fits
the parents
better.
want.
yeah.
She like does whatever she wants to do. Like she's
The
like,
dog.
"Oh, you want a big one?"
Yeah.
Yeah, she does. She's chaotic. I'm thinking golden
Yeah.
child just because she's the chosen one, but I think chaos child makes more sense. She's the chosen one in the
Yeah.
old timeline.
Yeah.
And then Sumi.
Probably dad who's at work.
Dad is at
Yeah,
work.
she's the dad who's at work, and Shenkai is the
Shenkai's
depressed
trying to
wine
move
mom.
Shenkai to depressed
Oh my
wine
God.
mom.
That's 100% like their dynamic.
Like that's literally what was happening. Like he was like trying to make himself forget. Like
Yeah.
every few
Oh my God.
seconds.
Exactly.
Flynn,
The dog.
chaos
Dog.
child.
The
I
dog.
guess you could do.
Or Chaos Child.
No, he's
I think
the
he's pretty
chaos
obedient.
child.
He feels
Yeah.
chaos
Oh,
Yeah.
child.
true.
Pretty obedient.
That's true.
Mizuni, neglected child.
Chaos child. Neglected child. Neglected child,
True.
quite literally in the lore of the show. Yeah.
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 I'd say chaos child more
9.
for attitude, but neglected child is like a lore
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
9 feels like
Chaos
chaos child. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mine wants to
they're-
be the golden child.
Yeah,
Nine
they
does
want to be
want
the
to be
golden.
the
They
golden
think they're
child.
the golden child.
Yeah, true. They think they are.
I would say Melrin probably falls into golden child. Obviously, she went against her parents in what we saw, but like she was.
But if she had
Oh,
good parents,
That was only up till now. Or
Yeah.
Well, I don't know who. She probably was obedient before.
Yeah, up until then, she was the good.
Yeah.
The good kid.
Yeah, someone in chat pointed out Melrin as a parent sibling as well. I consider
That
I
is
could
also
s-
fair.
yeah, I
That's
think-
also
I
fair,
think I might
yeah.
move her
See
to
that.
parent sibling. I think that might fit better.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Riddle the dog. No, I.
Yeah.
Oh. He's neglected child because Cassie don't give a fuck about him.
He doesn't have much. So, like, where does he go? I don't know. Like
I know, but you could give him more.
I don't want because it's funny.
Exactly, you're neglecting him. He's the neglected child. If there's
Um,
anybody on that
Done.
list who deserves to be the neglected child,
I'll
it's Riddle.
put it. He doesn't have a backstory where we would know if he's a neglected child or not, but I'll put him there.
Now
Exactly.
he does.
Yeah.
His backstory is that his
Rude.
creator fucking hates him.
Yeah.
neglected by
True.
Cassie.
Where does
Rue, I would say
Uh,
parent sibling. Maybe.
parent
Yeah.
sibling?
So like she's probably watched over Avayath.
Ew.
Yeah, make sure
yeah.
Vi doesn't do anything stupid.
Aelia.
Chaos child.
Chaos Child.
Yeah.
Dad who's
Or Dad who's at work.
depressed wine mom. Depressed
I
that
don't
she didn't
think-
get to be the chosen one
King
instead of
Yeah, but she's doing something.
Larkspur.
the dog.
The either dog or golden child.
He's the dog. No. Fuck it. This is the one I'm putting my foot down on. He is the dog.
Okay, I'll put
Matt,
him
what do
in
you
the
guys
dog.
think?
He's the dog.
Oh, chat agrees
Marky
with the dog.
Manville.
Yeah. Marky Manville is That's a great question. He's obviously the golden child because he's the avatar and he's
hold
the
on. I realized
and he's one.
I'm missing the Shui Grung PCs. Hold on. Okay, I added them.
You doink. Okay.
So where are you putting him?
Marky Manville's probably the dad who's at work.
Dad is at work.
Yeah.
Conscience the dog.
Yeah,
I mean, quite literally.
Hitomi.
Hitomi.
Where do they go?
They like golden child.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know.
They like to go. They do their performances, so
Yeah.
I can see that.
Seika.
Seika could either go golden child or parent sibling and neglected child. Well, in Chosen Ones, there's no indication of.
That's her.
We'll say golden
In her typical
child.
stuff, neglected child, but yeah.
Yeah.
Parent
Rush-
sibling, I'd almost say probably fits more for.
She
Seika.
was like the least chaotic, oddly enough. So maybe
True.
parent
Yeah.
sibling.
Yeah, I
Rush
agree
is
with that.
chaos child.
Like, yeah.
Absolutely.
Obviously.
All right, we'll do one more tier list, and then we'll see what we're like for time. We'll go a little past just because I did want to try to take some questions, but we'll try not to go too much past. So I'll switch over to our chatting screen while I get that set up. Oh, I forgot to take a screenshot. Someone will have to take a screenshot because I already reset it.
You fucking fool.
Someone will have to take a screenshot from the actual stream.
Where do you think your next PC is going to end up in that list?
I forgot the options. Honestly, wait, let me see. I know we have it listed. On
Neglected child, probably.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not chaos.
Chaos Child, I think, makes sense.
Chaos is also, yeah, either one.
I have no idea.
Yeah, your next PCJ is probably neglected child. Because like,
Yeah,
how do you end up
I'm
that
planning to
and not
like
be
have him
neglected?
lean more in that direction in the next campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Probably golden for me, but like not in the way you would expect.
That's fair. If I go with the one Cassie wants me to play, they have the dad who's at work. See, this is my goal, to get people to like build up in their mind what the next PCs will be like and then be shocked anyway.
I feel like I'm being predictable with firebending and neglected. It's like, oh, okay, this is an
geez.
edgelord.
You're playing Zuko next campaign.
I mean, that's not that far off.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I have a handful of characters that I was considering, but I just can't decide. I just can't decide.
Yeah. We're
Would it
also
help?
so far out still.
Yeah, we are really far out. Would it help if you knew like who I was playing?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why I'm so like solidly sticking to this character is because it makes it other people to like figure out at least, what is your dynamic with my character.
Mm-hmm.
It could be fun to play who is. I won't say anything.
One thing that might be fun to do next game, because I've been reading the new TTRPG Daggerheart. If anybody's heard about that, it came out by a little publisher responsible for Critical Role and whatnot. But
Oh, I never heard of them.
yeah, I know. Daggerheart has these things in it where it asks you questions specifically around like, how do your PCs know each other? But it doesn't say it like that. It says it like, why does my PC owe you a favor? Or how did your PC help mine out of this situation and shit like that? Which are really fun,
I remember
like
that.
character stuff that gives the PCs like immediate dynamics between them. They don't all have to be like the same question. You can like just choose different questions. So like doing something like that next game could be.
We
fun
used to do
do
something called the rumor system, which was fun until it made everyone suspicious as fuck about everyone.
Oops.
That's why I don't like the rumor system.
Yeah, the
'Cause
rumor
rumors
system was
are-
fun for a bit.
Rumors are usually a bad thing, and
Exactly.
and it's like, where did I hear this from? I don't know, but it's weird that I know this about this person, and now I have to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, exactly. But it's fun in theory. But like, yeah, questions like that at the start of the game could be fun to try and do.
All right, let's go for the last Tiermaker. I gotta switch the sign at the top. Boop boop doop. No more family dynamic. Now we're on.
We're no longer a family.
Broken
tearing
family.
this family
Defending themselves in an argument. The first option is actually tried to make a valid point. The second is your mom. The third is gives up. The fourth is breaks down before they can rebuttal. The fifth is I don't have time for this. The sixth is oh yeah, punches them.
Yeah.
And then the last one is I know your home address. I'm at your front door right now.
I already know exactly who's going to be in that tier. I know several characters that are going to be in that tier.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll start with Shui.
Honestly, Shui would probably he would try to make a valid point, I feel like. Or he would punch them. But I feel like he's not really that aggressive to like punch someone.
Yeah, that's fair.
He also wouldn't break down. He wouldn't give up because that's not him.
Not from an argument.
Yeah,
I would say he would try.
He would try to make it valid.
Yeah, I think so too.
Mm-hmm.
Brandy.
Great question.
You have
Depends
multiple,
on
you have
what
multiple
point of the
Brandys to
podcast.
answer
Yeah,
for.
there are multiple Brandys. So like this Brandy right now, I mean,
He feels
probably
like I don't have
also
time
in the
for
same.
this.
It's either that or it's also the same as Shui, of like
Yeah.
because he likes like at the end of season 3, he was like trying to talk Abaddon down from being the way that he was, and was like trying or like at least trying to get across to him, and he spent a lot of the game trying to like get Arthur to stop being the way he is.
That's
so like
fair.
you know, I feel like same with Shui.
We'll put him
Oh,
there.
Violet Arts, you made a good point. Shui is your mom. That's fair. Like that's kind of an immature thing to say, and Shui's, well,
Do you want to
Shui's
move
very
him?
mature. We just spent the whole last time saying how
Yeah.
mature Shui. He was proving how mature he was at the end of the season. You see.
let's move him to your mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Avayath.
Yeah, and then somebody says your mom, and then he breaks down.
Yeah, then he worked out.
My parents.
My parents. Yeah, your parents. Okay.
Avayath.
So for Avayath, it depends. He will either try to talk things out, or if you're a necromancer, he's just gonna punch you in the face.
Yeah,
We'll go with punch in the face because it's funny.
that's
Okay.
fair.
Theo.
So I want to say that he tries to make a valid point,
Mhm.
but I almost think, because most of the time when these dramatic things are happening and people are trying to like talk someone down, Theo's usually not participating. He's usually a little too scared. He's usually freaking
Yeah,
out. So
breaking down.
Yeah, I do think he would be breaks down before they
Okay,
can get a rebuttal.
that's
Even though
fair.
like
Yeah.
in his general life, he would be the one who tries to make a valid point.
Yeah.
Because like when
for
he was
sure.
like mad at Arthur at the beginning, he like fully voiced like what he thought of him. So
Yeah.
it depends. But I
Um,
think his anxiety wins out here.
Yeah, for sure.
Avayath the Undead Slayer.
This one's obvious to me. At the bottom, I know your home
Yeah,
address.
I know your home address.
Yeah. He's not fucking around.
Yeah.
And then we have Professor Theodore. I think he would
I
make
feel
a
like
point.
tries
Be
to
the
make
one
a
who
valid
gives
Yeah.
it. Yeah. I mean, he's a college professor.
Wolf.
Yeah.
Probably also the same as Undead Avayath.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I figured.
Yeah.
Twink Avayath.
Breaks down.
I was
gives
thinking
up.
gives up.
Yeah, I was thinking
Gives
breaks
up.
down or gives up. Yeah, maybe
I think
gives up.
Gives up sounds better for him.
Yeah.
I don't feel like he'd break down. I just feel like he'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. You're right. My bad.
I'll shut up.
I am a twink.
You're right.
I'm a twink. I understand.
Don't deflate me more.
I feel like
Yeah.
this Brandy doesn't have time for this.
Yeah, I was
Druid
gonna say the same
Brandy.
thing. He's just like, I don't have time for this. I don't care. I need to get back to the woods.
Ninja Shui.
Also
Probably
feels like I don't have time.
Yeah, I don't have
Yeah.
time for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pirate Shui.
Pirate
I-
shoe.
Probably, oh yeah, punches them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Poisoned Apple.
That's another breaks down.
Yeah, I was gonna say Ripley also breaks down.
Like quite literally, that's all he was doing in that altercation.
Yeah.
Zari doesn't have time for this.
Yeah. No,
Or
or
gives up.
yeah,
Or
and punches them because that's literally
Oh my
the first
God,
thing he
wait,
did when he
yes!
met Arthur.
Wait,
That's true. I'll put him in there.
Like he settled it with violence immediately.
He was told to go stop him, and
Exactly. Yeah. Wynn feels like he is either going to give up or break down.
Yeah, I feel like
I
breakdown.
think he's going to give up, but not like in a sad way. He's just like, I don't care. Like,
He's like, I don't have any way to rebuke this. I mean,
yeah, he's just going to shrug and be like, none of my business.
yeah.
I'll put him
I
in
think he
gives
just
up.
gives up without a breakdown because of, if you remember how the Abergrim was treating him at the beginning, he just was just like,
Yeah,
all
it's
right,
like,
Yeah.
okay.
walks away.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Winona breaks down. Yeah,
Yeah.
break down.
Yeah.
Peter feels like I don't have time for this.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't have time for this.
100%.
Merlin, see, she's
Merlin.
immature
Oh, yeah,
sometimes in a
punches.
way.
She's immature
I
sometimes.
was
You
gonna
put her in
say
your mom.
Like,
Yeah. Put her in your mom.
That's
That's
funny.
I was thinking, oh yeah, punches because of her competitive nature.
Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking it's funny because she's Arthur's grandma to be like your mom. Like,
Yeah.
Arthur.
Breaks down.
yeah,
Yeah,
Arthur
he's
breaks
always
down.
breaking down.
He's always breaking down.
I
You don't
feel
even
like
have to
he,
argue with
he
that.
would try to make a point, but he'd already be
Yeah, he'd be
breaking
like,
down. Like,
Yeah.
Would you be nice to me?
Actually, if you think
Avalon's
about
gotta go in the
it,
bottom.
he's outside your
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
Sorry, it just
Yeah.
reminds me of the time he tried to get Theo to forgive him. Just like, well, you see, it's all okay now.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, I don't
No, it's
forgive
not.
you.
Oh my god.
All right,
I
we
know you're hoping there's
got
Abaddon.
Titus would gives up.
Breakdown or give up, yeah.
I'd say gives up.
Mm,
Yeah,
Essence is breaks down.
That's fair.
yeah.
Miffy,
If Essence was Solari Essence, she'd be like, I'm gonna punch you.
she'd be like your mom.
True.
No,
Yeah,
I
she'd be
get
like your mom. Feels like I don't have time for this.
I feel
got
like
a
Miffy
job.
might
I work a
try.
9 to 5.
I don't have time
like,
for this. Yeah, we'll go with that.
I'm making money. I don't have time for this. I'm folding clothes. Like, outta
Libris, in a strange way, feels like
Your
your
mom.
mom. Yeah.
Yeah, like she's not taking it seriously.
Yeah, but she
No,
wouldn't be
absolutely
being
not.
mean
She doesn't
about
fucking
it.
care.
She'd say it because she thinks it's the funny response. Like,
exactly. She's rage baiting. That's what Libris does.
Yeah.
She's intentionally making people angry.
Yeah.
Because she thinks it's funny.
She says your mom, and then Shui says your mom like angrily back.
Yeah.
Abigrim is the bottom one as well. No,
Yeah,
sure.
I'm outside your house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Draga feels like, oh yeah, punches them.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the rock.
Throws
though.
a rock at them.
Yeah. Has a rock fist come out of the ground.
Yeah.
Magic Man feels like your mom.
Yeah. That is fair.
He actually summons your mom.
Let's talk through the therapy with your mother.
I do see address for Magic Man. I see where you're coming from. He likes to be silly though. He
Yeah.
he
he's silly
doesn't
about it.
usually
Also-
directly threaten unless you're doing something that actually super bothers him. And so, or like you're specifically going out of your way. And even then he's just silly with it. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
like,
you
we've never
uploaded-
seen him step in.
I uploaded what?
You've uploaded the alternate universe characters twice.
Oh, well, we'll just not put them on. It's fine.
We'll just skip them. Yeah. Or now that we've had time, we can replace these ones. Now that we've had time to ruminate, obviously.
Bishu, oh yeah, punches them.
He could be
Punches
in.
them.
He could be. Oh yeah, punches them.
100%.
Or zaps them. You know.
Yeah.
Dashi, I don't have time for this, I would say.
Yeah, either that or
True.
gives up because she's arguing with Shui specifically, and she's like,
She's tired.
"There's nothing to do about this."
I feel like
need some wine."
Estel would try to make a point.
Yeah,
It's her like thing. She thinks she's right.
she's like, actually,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Sumi, your mom. I don't know.
your
I
mom,
just
yeah.
It's just the vibes.
It's the vibes. She
She has the vibe of your mom.
yeah. Melrin, I feel like either gives up or breaks down, or I don't have time for this. One of those three.
Yeah. Probably breaks.
Maybe
down.
gives up.
Well, she does argue with
She does argue with
her parents.
your mom.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So I don't think she gives up. I don't.
Yeah.
I
Maybe
feel.
tries
Well, I
to
don't know.
make a
I'm thinking
point.
about how like she was trying to get Titus out of the cuffs, and she was like, ah, fuck.
that was me rolling bad.
Yeah.
Maybe tries to make a point. Just I think maybe.
Yeah, I
That's
think
fair.
she tries to make a point.
Yeah,
Nine-
that's kind of like her whole thing.
9 feels like
Oh, yeah, punches
punches
them.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't even say anything, and they're like, "Oh yeah."
Oh yeah. Check this out. I don't have time for this for
Shenkai, I
Shenkai.
would say gives up.
That's also fair. Yeah.
He did kind of give up.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
is like the give up person.
Yeah.
Rue.
We haven't seen much of Rue is the problem.
We
I'd
haven't.
say tries to make a point for now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's fair.
Mizuni, oh yeah, punches them.
Yeah.
That's how their interaction went talking to her.
It is true.
Your son's dead.
I
Oh
don't-
yeah, you're dead. Like
Yeah.
I don't know where to put.
I don't think he has time for this. I don't think he's going to entertain you. If you
True.
keep
Yeah,
going with him.
True.
Yeah.
I don't have time for this, gods. And then you get
I thought you
executed.
said gods for a second. Like what?
No, guards.
I like the idea someone's the gods.
Yeah. Gods,
Riddle.
execute this man. Obviously, home address for Riddle.
I feel like you're.
Cassie doesn't have time for him, so no, I'm kidding.
He's kind of
Yeah,
sassy.
Cassie's given up on him,
The
so
little
probably put him in
personality
gives
he
up.
has, I would put him in your mom.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
Now, Flynn is I'm outside.
Flynn
the
shows up
house.
Yeah,
outside
Flynn's
your
outside your
Yeah. Step outside, I just want to talk.
Or he's already in your house.
I
and you
would
just
say
didn't
Yeah,
Alias
or he's
also
in
there.
your house.
Alias also in
Yeah,
there.
I like
both
this.
of them are in your house.
I like the sense of the chat. Flynn gets punched.
Yeah.
Now, that would be
Druid,
great.
Brandy, we've already done the AUs, so
Yeah,
we'll do.
We gotta go to the very end.
Marky.
Marky Manville. Marky Manville. He resort to your mom probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Conscience gives up.
Doesn't understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gives
Doesn't
up.
understand.
It doesn't understand.
He told me.
He told me does a dance to make a valid point.
Does
Okay.
a little dance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does a gay little dance that pisses you off.
Yeah.
Seika.
Seika, I think, will try to make a valid point. She will argue forever.
Yeah.
Brushwood punch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, punches them.
Oh yeah.
And there we are. I'll take a screenshot.
There you go.
Hold on, I'll move us back to our chatting screen. And then we'll take some questions here at the end. We're going a little past time,
Yeah.
but I know people had them at the beginning. So
Yeah, we got a little bit of time.
we can do
That's
some
fun.
questions.
What is your PC, your next PC's response to an argument?
Oh,
Every time. I think, like, I'm at
Yours
your
is
home
punches
address.
them.
Or punches them.
That's also fair.
Yeah, my character's like maximum level angry, so.
Yeah.
I would say actually try to make a valid point for mine. Or maybe your mom.
That's fair.
I imagine I'll probably be playing to my strengths again next season, which Theo is my ultimate strength. So it's probably not going to be too different, which I'm sorry about. But I gotta have someone that I'm able to play for 5 years,
That's
just in
fair.
case.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably do. Mine would probably be. I'm outside your house. If I play the one Cassie wants me to play.
Oh, God.
Ripley's character and my character will fight again.
So
Yeah.
we don't have questions yet, obviously, in the chat. We have a couple backup questions that we could do if we don't end up having any, but also the stream's gone on long
Wait, we
enough.
do have one.
Oh, where?
When is Marky Manville coming back?
Oh.
Obviously. When's Marky Manville coming back? And the answer is never. I hate that stupid frog. He's never coming back.
Damn.
Unless
That's the only reason I listened to this whole podcast. I was just waiting for Marky Manville.
maybe someday.
I did
Maybe
want to
sometime.
address a question that we had earlier, which was about OC ships. And I would say if you are shipping an OC with a character from Chosen Ones, always ask, because it will be different depending on the ones. Because even NPCs, usually if an NPC is canonically with another character, I would appreciate if you didn't ship them with someone. And also, even then, you don't necessarily know every character's sexualities, and that is important to me, that their sexualities are respected. But also, I know from an audience perspective, like, I can't control what you do in your mind palace, so, like, I'm not gonna
don't do it.
attack you. But also, just know that we care about these characters very deeply, even NPCs.
Yeah.
So it's better to err on the side of caution and just know that the answer is probably no, unfortunately, just to be respectful to us. I just don't want you to show us something and then us to be like, don't do that. Like, you know, I don't want to make it awkward. Someone has drawn character art with Shui before, but they did ask Sense permission beforehand. So, yeah, it's just, and when you are dealing with a show that is only a few hundred people in terms of the audience, it's better to ask because we will see it with how small our audience is, so.
Another question we got is, if we all had to change the color palettes of our current PC's outfits, what color would you choose? What colors or color would you choose? I would choose purple for Brandy.
Obvious choice, yeah.
More purple, because, you know, that's...
We assigned purple to Brandy anyways.
Brandy was assigned purple, so more purple.
I mean, Avayath was assigned gold and then turned gold.
Yeah.
I super goldified you.
Yeah. Really went all in on that. And Avayath is usually wearing white. He usually has some blue on him, so go for blue. But if it's not a color that's already on him, if it's not white, gold, or blue.
I mean, he doesn't really have a ton of blue on him right now. He could just lean more into adding more blue.
Yeah, it'd probably be blue.
His eyes are blue, and that's about, and they're like light blue, like pretty light.
Yeah. How blue is there too?
Maybe I'd go purple if none of those colors.
Someone suggested earthy tones, which perhaps.
Yeah.
Oh, brown might not be so bad. Yeah.
That's fair. What
He's
about
got a
Theo
little
and
brown,
Shui?
kind of. It's kind of gray, but it's on the way. Shui, if your blue is taken away from you, what are you?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Dresses in pure white.
Blue was all I had.
Honestly, yeah, I'd probably say, probably more either white with like some yellow, or you know, like a gray. Like I feel like he could work a gray color.
That's fair.
I would have guessed yellow or orange because of his like cheery personality, and yellow also matches with lightning, so that was my guess.
So you'll never think of it, but I would go pink, white, and blue for trans colors for Theo, just because it's fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good color scheme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Who has the highest Riz?
Brandy probably. I feel like Brandy has a lot of Riz.
Yeah.
I'm fucking
The
jealous.
only thing that holds Brandy back is his reputation, but that's not like his fault. Well, kind of is, but
it is.
Yeah,
It is
explicitly
kind of
his fault, but like explicitly it is his fault.
No
but
one
like
was
also,
controlling him. Like, cool motive, still murder.
still
like,
murder. Yeah, but if you don't know about Brandy, you know, he's
then he has the
charismatic
most
fuck,
Riz.
is
Yeah.
the thing.
Stat-wise, Theo has the lowest Riz.
Yeah, stat-wise, Theo has the lowest. Brandy probably has the highest. I don't know.
Yeah,
if
stat-wise, too.
Charisma's maxed out.
Now it is. It wasn't at the beginning.
Yeah, Brandy's had like maxed out charisma since like way early on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if I had the strength based.
How many campaigns are we planning? At least 3, probably just 3. I have a 4th I'm kind of teetering on, but it would depend on how we do after 3. And that would just be in this world. I will do this as long as physically possible because I found something that works and that I can complete. And let me tell you, as a creator who has so many unfinished projects that never made it this far, if you find something that works, just keep doing it until you don't want to anymore. Like,
True.
because I've never had something go on this long or get this far or be as complete as this
popular.
is. Popular, yeah. But you know, it's just like I found something that works, and even when D&D falls out of the public eye, or when this type of podcast stops being made by more people, you know, I'll still be doing it. We might not maybe do D&D forever, but like in terms of Chosen Ones, it is planned that all 3 games will be D&D. Just because so much of the lore is built around that, but yeah.
Would your character like bubble tea? No.
Yeah, I think so.
Arthur does like bubble tea. Yeah. He's tried it.
I hate bubble tea so much.
Shui would.
Yeah. Ripley does not like bubble tea.
I can't stand bubble tea.
Cassie loves bubble tea, and since Arthur is the closest, don't read into this too much. Arthur's the closest to me of any of my characters. Like he would like bubble tea.
Wyatt just likes to try wacky shit, so he's gonna try all the craziest flavors he can find.
That's true.
Do you have any tips for campaigns and animations in the future, especially story-wise?
Story-wise?
Tips for campaigns?
Animations? I mean, it's just practice, honestly. It's just practice and just practice and practice.
There are lots of tutorials online.
Yeah.
You have to, I recommend looking up the 12 principles of animation for animation specifically, learning that. And there's a bunch of videos on YouTube on learning how to animate with the programs that you have.
Oh,
yeah. In terms of like campaigns, steal. I don't
steal
mean
from things
that
you like
literally.
And repurpose them.
I mean reimagine. So like we've gotten questions before that's like, can I use sparks in my game? And my answer is always yes, but change it. Make it something different. Even just changing the name.
Something unique to yourself.
Because if the thing is, you have to consider this from the perspective of if you ever get really attached to something and you want to do something with it one day, then you're already good. You don't got to worry about it. If you made a new campaign public one day and you had everyone have magical special abilities named Sparks, I wouldn't say anything, but I'd be like, you know, like, but also it's not like it's the most original concept ever. Someone else could stumble into this by accident, having never heard of Chosen Ones. So that's why I wouldn't say anything.
If you really want to get into another thing is like, to get into storytelling and like figuring out what kind of stories you like and how to write them, on that topic, like consume more media. Yeah. Like consume more varied media. Don't just stick to the things you like explore other things you wouldn't normally, read books, watch shows and movies you wouldn't normally, stuff like that, to just get a broader palette.
When we
figure
first
out what you
started,
like from that, what you don't, etc.
I listened to a lot of other people's podcasts. I just don't have the time to do that anymore, but I listened to a lot of people's podcasts and I didn't like quite a few of them, but I still listened to some episodes of them because you can learn from things even that you don't like, of like, how would I change this? What would I do to make this be something more enjoyable from an audience perspective? Don't tell those people, probably, but you know, from your point of view, consuming media that you don't always enjoy, you don't have to watch all of it, but you know, experimenting with things that you wouldn't typically watch, and if you don't like it, then the worst thing at the end of the day is maybe you waste like an hour, you know. So
Cassie, where are the Kenkus?
Kyle, did you actually? No, that'd be mean. I can't make you watch a whole one shot just to tease you for something that didn't happen. But did you watch the summer one shot? You were mentioned in the summer one shot at one point, Kyle.
If there's no more Marky Manville, will we ever get more grungs or more frogs? Are you ever gonna put grungs in, Cassie?
Technically, you did.
I did, yeah. Marky Manville's canonically the only grung in the world currently.
Yeah. It was because there was a list of species that I allowed, and that was because the world was so early. I wanted some lore to build. I didn't have lore for some of them, and also some of them I have lore, but they aren't here yet for certain reasons. Kenku is one of them for why they don't exist yet. They do actually have a reason for it. But other ones like Grung, I was just like, I don't have any fucking reason or what they would be doing in the world or whatever. So I just was like, no Grung. And then Zen was like, well, should we speak Grung? And I was like, why?
For fun.
But yeah, so most of the reason for why certain races don't exist yet is either because I didn't have lore planned for them yet, or because I have lore planned for them, but the world is meant to be so early that, you know, literally the campaigns, if we went up to the fourth one, would span like tens of thousands of years in the future, possibly. So like I didn't want everything to exist immediately in the world.
Or now we're in like year 300 or something.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you know. Would you get along with your character in real life? Cassie, you can answer for Arthur.
I think we would get along, but we would probably eventually annoy the other person because certain aspects of us, you know how like you don't like people who are similar to you, we'd like butt heads eventually about certain things, but like we'd both be trying not to make the other one upset or offended, and then he'd probably kill me on accident.
Yeah, assuming that they don't know that we made them, like maybe.
No, if he knew that I made him, that actually would be worse for me. Not because
it'd be over.
Not because he'd be angry that I made him, but he would be too curious and he'd drive me insane.
Yeah.
So, you know.
For sure. What about the
Avayath is a no.
No, you don't think you get along with Avayath?
No, I'd rather not have religion shoved down my throat. It's annoying in real life.
That is fair. Yeah, it is annoying in real life.
Avayath would you, Jay. Would Avayath like you?
Right.
Would you be the friendship he'd be pining for?
Avayath would be okay with me, because whenever someone does try to shove religion down, I do give like bare minimal response. I think I'm an okay listener.
Mm-hmm.
I just wouldn't have much to say to him.
That's fair.
Avayath is too big. He's too loud.
Yeah.
I feel
He's obnoxious.
Obnoxious, yes.
Too extroverted.
I think I would get along with Shui. I think he'd be a lot of fun. But like I wouldn't want to, for example, be roommates with him because like I don't.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
He feels like a morning person in like a way that would annoy me.
Yeah, that's fair. I'd get along a little too well with Brandy. What about you, Theo?
Yes, I would get along very well with Theo. We're both like very similar. I think he would do his best to befriend me because I do actually have trouble talking to people. So I think he would do his best.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. What are your PC/NPC's opinions on dinosaurs?
They do
Brandy
exist.
thinks that they were put in. Brandy thinks that they were put in the ground by God to test our faith.
No, stop.
That's what Avayath thinks.
They do
I mean, that's the thing.
exist.
In D&D, they just exist.
You
They are
fought
just
them.
things that exist in the
You
world.
fought undead plesiosaurs or plesiosaurs. I never know if you say plesiosaur or plesiosaur. I don't know which way.
Either is fine.
But you fought
things
them.
that are annoying as fuck.
Yeah, you fought them in the caverns, so they exist.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, in all seriousness, Avayath would think they're cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell yeah.
We would want to ride one.
Yeah, you turned into a T-Rex.
Of
I
course.
forgot. Druid Brandy.
Yeah,
Like, they are
exactly. Like,
definitely
Didn't
literally
Libera's-
turns into a T-Rex. Like,
And
they're
Libera's
real,
basically
no.
tamed one of them. Like
a Tarrasque, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually have a fear of dinosaurs. I don't like dinosaurs. Theo also wouldn't like dinosaurs.
That's fair.
That's fair.
They're big, scary lizards. Is there any names for the next campaign? That's a spoiler. We can't share that.
It also might change, so I don't want to tell you something and then you be like, "Oh my
Yeah.
god, they didn't do the game that they said." So it, you know,
Yeah.
we are
Nothing's
almost completely
solidified
locked
currently.
in on what the concept of the next game will be. We've been locked in on it for a while. We've also been locked in on the third game. The fourth game is the one that we're not sure if we're going to do or not because who knows, maybe I'll be 80 by then. So
Maybe. At this rate, probably.
well, our third game possibly will rival Chosen Ones in terms of its length if it's anything like what we've done in the past.
Yeah, the second one's gonna be a flop. Don't listen to it. But
The
the third one,
second
just
one's
you
going to
wait.
be good, but it is going to be
No,
my
just
attempt to
kidding.
do a shorter game. I'm
Yeah,
hoping
that's
for it to
fair.
be more comparable to like maybe tops
years.
3 seasons like we've done, but I'd like it to be 2, but realistically will probably end up being 3 if I aim for 2.
7 years.
But yeah.
I said the name in the Discord chat already.
You
like
sent
2
the
times.
name?
Well, the name of my character.
Of your character.
Oh, I thought you
Yeah.
meant the name of the.
That's
I was like, when did you spoil the
No.
name of the campaign? Like,
Oh, no.
No. Do you all have any advice to find D&D groups to play with or join outside of friend groups? None of my friends are interested in playing games. There's stuff online. Like, there are a ton of resource. First of all, be careful in online spaces.
Yes.
Obviously,
Stranger danger.
Proceed with caution, and make sure you're not getting any. Don't agree to meet anybody you meet online up in real life unless you like have vetted them extensively, obviously. But there are like online resources and stuff. I think is it called Find Games or something? There's like a site
There's a
specifically
game
for
called Start Playing if you want a paid DM.
That's what it is.
It is usually paid. If you're looking for free games, I would suggest Roll20 because you can specify when you're searching free games. But again, be careful. Obviously, if you are a minor, there's a high chance you'll be playing with people who are not minors. So please be careful.
Very, very careful.
And also don't hide your
of-
age because some of them won't allow you to, and that's not good. Don't hide your age just to get into a game.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I have a hard time finding games that aren't free. I have a hard time finding free games, but a lot of times local board game shops also host D&D.
That's what
Also
I was
that,
going to
yeah.
say. Local game shops and stuff will have game nights, or they'll also just let you come, and sometimes people will be playing games and you'll be able to join. They'll just let you take games off the shelf to play and test, so you can always go to those, and if there's people already playing, you can possibly ask. There's lots of ways that you can get around. I'd even just search up like playing D&D in my area and see if there's events or anything that would be coming up, because it's a lot more mainstream than it used to be.
Yeah. So be careful, but there are places you can find it. If Shui could be taller, how much taller would Shui be?
6'3".
6'3".
Is Avayath 6'2"? Is that what it is? No, Avayath's like...
No, Avayath is
It's like 7
Yeah.
feet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
I thought you
Yeah.
were trying to do
Brandy's
the thing where we one up each
6'5".
other.
Yeah.
7'3".
Yeah. Next game, I'm going to make sure that my PC is taller than Jay's by 1
God
inch.
damn it.
single
My
inch.
character already has a canon height of 5'11".
Yeah. So my character's gonna be 6 feet tall. But yeah.
I think that's it.
all that's in the chat right now.
We
Do we want to answer the other 2 backup ones?
Yeah, we'll just answer the backup questions, and then we have a final thing that's wasn't a question, but it's just something for us to end the live stream off.
The game. Yeah, this is actually the end of Chosen Ones, guys.
No,
I hope
no,
you
no,
liked
no.
the end of season 4, because that's it.
Thanks for the Kofi drive money. No, I'm kidding. No,
Yeah, thanks for the money.
that'd be the rudest.
That'd be so
We'd
fucked
never
up.
get anyone's
Yeah, that would
trust
suck.
ever again.
No.
Someone would try to
That'd
like
suck
sue
shit.
us. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, that is definitely suable behavior.
yeah.
100%.
What is your favorite spell
Just kidding,
or
obviously.
ability from Alkaline Wig?
Oh.
Oh, I saw this question. I didn't come up with an answer. So one of my favorites for sure is Avayath's Divine Allegiance, that he gets a 7th level where you can take hits for other people. I just think that's fantastic from a role-playing standpoint.
Yeah.
And I feel like every character should be able to do that.
Yeah. Being
You
able
shouldn't
to
have
jump
to be a
from
crown
other
paladin to be self-sacrificing.
people. It's true.
What else? I really like Divine Smite because Divine Smite go boom and it do
Yeah.
big damage.
It's busted.
Yeah. Paladin became my favorite class, I think, because of the podcast.
Understandable. It is a good one.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Ripley. I have an
Um,
idea, but I don't know if it's just because you use it a lot.
Is Gravity Sinkhole?
Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking? Yeah, Gravity Sinkhole is definitely one of them. I fucking love Gravity Sinkhole so much. One fun fact about me is I love space. Space is like, I love space. I love all the stuff going on in space. I love learning about it. And Gravity Sinkhole being basically just summon a black hole into the middle of the battlefield and suck people in. It's so fun. I love it so much. It's definitely one of my favorite spells. Another one, though, Sending. I love Sending as well.
Oh yeah.
Sending's
I
such
agree.
a fun spell. It's especially funny, like if you try and intentionally go out of your way to use every single word that you have as a part of sending, or getting your
Yeah.
sentence cut off because you use too many. It's just funny. But yeah, I love Sending. I love Gravity Sinkhole. Those two are great. Ability wise, I would say Divination Wizard's Portent ability is just the most busted thing in the game, and it's fun. I love it. I love Portent Wizards.
It's
They're great.
insane, yeah.
Next game, I'll probably play a wizard.
You took
'cause
mine. I was going to
love
say
wizards.
Portent.
Yeah, because you need it.
I
Yeah.
need it, yeah. Usually when I play Estel, I mean, she's also a divination wizard in Chosen Ones, but usually when I play her as a PC, she is a divination wizard. I'm also playing her in Baldur's Gate, and she's a divination wizard because I need it. So.
Yeah, we need to get back on that.
I know, it's because the Kofi drive. I'm busy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, either that or Bladesinger Wizard's ability. I love Bladesingers. Bladesingers are so fucking cool. I love them so much.
Oh, one answer I remembered, even though my turn's already over. I fucking love the skill expert feat just because it lets me like customize what my character is an expert at. It can do so much for the personality.
Also a good one,
yeah, that's great.
I also need that. I also usually take that because I need that.
Yeah.
What about Shui? What about you, Zen? What's your favorite?
I don't know.
What's your favorite spell/ability?
Send us new spells. No, I'm kidding.
Exactly. Right. That's why it's specified or ability.
I mean, if you like using the thing where your AC go up.
Yeah, I like using the blade flourishes that the College of Swords Bard has. I think it's like it suits Shui very well. I also like, as far as like a spell, I do like Still Wind Strike. I like how Ripley uses it. You know what I mean? Like Shui would probably
that's
use
another
it.
one. I love Still Wind Strike.
Shui would probably use it more, but he just doesn't ever cast spells.
He never fucking casts spells. And Steel Wind Strike's a great one because you do 6d10 to 5 different creatures.
I like the teleportation. I like when flashback to when they were in the alternate timeline in like season 3 or whatever. Yeah, 3. And they were like having to chase after Poison Apple Theo and Wolf. Shui had so much movement speed.
Yeah,
like literally,
just like
he ran so fast that especially if I had like kind of like Steel Wind Strike, I could have caught it, or he could have caught it.
Yeah, you would have caught up instantly and just started
like,
cutting into pieces.
The little one.
Yeah. Oh, he's fast.
Yeah.
But in general, like I just like being a skill. Like I like having expertise. So I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
I like having expertise, and when I don't have expertise, I just don't know what to do with myself. So.
Yeah, dude. Fucking Bard Warlock goes crazy.
Yeah.
What about you, Shayna?
So this has nothing to do with Theo, because I could say for playing Theo's, like, I like shooting and I like shooting good, but
I like being able to shoot a bow. That's my favorite ability.
Yeah, so I mean, I do like archery, but in general D&D, I really love what's it called? It's the Storm Rage for the barbarians.
Yeah. The Tempest Barbarian.
Fun flavor.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, I love that because one of my favorite OCs has the Tundra aura and everything. And then I also love monks and their key points and all that stuff. I like doing the flurry of blows, the unarmed strikes. I love doing those.
They're very fun.
Yeah, so we'll do one more. We'll do the last backup, and then we've got a couple in chat, so I think we can glide through.
I was gonna say, we have a couple more.
But the question for the cast from Joker Dino, this was the last backup question, was Chosen Ones has a deep story behind it without the story that isn't there yet. What was your favorite part to play/create? So either making stuff for the show or playing your characters, what has been your favorite part? You can answer twice if you have a different answer for both, but yeah. We'll start with Avayath/Jay.
Avayath. I mean, outside of the campaign, I think I just like making shit posts for Avayath.
He is the most shit postable.
Yeah. I made tons of memes of him and videos of him singing stupid shit.
And you'll be having more.
Fun.
You'll be having many more of those very soon.
I sure will. Yep.
Yeah. And he could have even more if you go donate below at the Kofi link.
We have 2 Avayath songs left. Someone actually claimed the last one-shot slot during the stream.
Wow! Thanks so much.
If you're listening, thank you so much.
Yeah.
As for in the campaign, I seem to like the really emotionally intense moments. Just when things go really, really wrong, that's when I'm in. Because I hate myself, I guess.
That's valid. Similarly to that for me, my favorite moments, like my favorite parts to play in game is usually talking to other people, specifically when it's in a setting of like trying to talk someone down from doing something or try to get through to somebody on an emotional level, like the many conversations Brandy and Arthur have had with each other over the course of the game, of Brandy just trying to get Arthur to not be the way that he is.
It's such good character moments.
It's
those conversations are interesting.
Like it's always it's so much more rewarding to be able to talk through something with a character than it is to beat them to death with sticks. You know, as much as Brandy would love to just beat Arthur to death and be over with it, being able to actually going out of his way to try to like see his perspective and relate to him and sympathize with him in a way that doesn't justify his actions but shows him a path forward to be able to, you know, change, because obviously Brandy was in a very similar, not on the same like grand scale, but in a similar position to Arthur growing up, like being able to be like that guiding presence for another character is always really fun.
I love it because then you don't kill my favorite character. But if you do, I would forgive you because I did make him do a lot of mistakeys. So I would, if you guys had killed Arthur, I would not have blamed you. Like, he fucked everything up. So
he sure did. Brandy was close, but he did his best not to.
You also don't know what would have happened because of his whole shit. Like, even Arthur doesn't know if he is able to die or not. So.
For sure.
But you could try and find out. Like, you know.
Yeah, maybe.
He is a wizard. Zen? You'll definitely hit him. Like.
Yeah.
Sorry. For me, just
do you want to answer?
Just creating the show in general, I would say it's very fun to see what it is. Like, it's a lot of work to get an episode out. I've talked about this in the past. I've made videos in the past where I was going to actually explain my process, and then I stopped because it just sounded like I was complaining, and that wasn't the vibe I wanted to give out. I was like, I need to make this and make it not be like I'm dying while I'm making this. I made it when I was stressed. And it came across in the script that I wrote, so I was like, I gotta make this again when I'm like not stressed, because I do enjoy it or I wouldn't do it. But like some of these episodes take, I think the longest I've spent on an episode was 30 hours for a single episode. And I mean, when you consider the fact that some of these episodes have custom art that is made for the episode, so I'm not just editing, I'm also drawing new assets for it sometimes, they can get up there. And so, you know, it's taken a lot of time before. I think actually it was the first part of the season finale was the one that took 30 hours, and that was because of technical problems that I was ripping my hair out for. I love when I have technical issues. But yeah, I would say for me, it's just being able to see something and see people's reactions and just have it feel as magical as it was playing for like an audience perspective. So that's my favorite part.
For sure. Zen?
For me, so as of recently, like I guess outside of the actual campaign recordings, I like making music for this show.
Yeah, you've been doing stuff.
No. Yeah, I do have a degree in composition. It's a minor, so I guess not like a full degree. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I went to school for it. And I am classically trained. I play the double bass. VHS was sort of letting me kind of flex that part of my creativity. Even like the Kofi making the Shui song in the music box. I've already like they're basically done. Like, you know what I mean? Like I had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, we funded that first one, and Zen was like, I got it done.
Yeah. As far as like, I guess like in terms of like in the actual campaign, I would I would say. No, never mind. No.
Is it a spoiler?
No, I'm kidding. No, it's not really a spoiler. I just like. I like failing. Okay, this is gonna sound weird. I like failing forward. Like I like succeeding on my skill checks, but I also like failing in a way that is interesting, and seeing like the consequences, or you
love the consequences.
Zen loves to fuck around and find out.
Sure.
Oh, so I like, and it's not really like I'm not creating that, but it's up to the dice and stuff like that. But
to an extent.
But yes, to an extent, I do like facilitating it.
I gave you a way to fail more interestingly with your funny little nat 20 turns into a nat 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The excitement and then the horror, like the.
Yeah.
It can be really good because if you rest before it happens again, then you just got a free nat 20. It's just we usually don't. You usually get to experience what happens when the second time comes up.
Yeah. But also one other thing, I like creating connections, like heartfelt moments between characters, like PCs and NPCs too. I feel like Shui does that a lot. I think it's fun in between all the drama.
Yeah.
Because it helps deepen the relationship, so that when drama does happen, it's like, oh shit, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
like
we synced up pretty fast with this party. Like the fastest I've ever seen a party like come together that I've DM'd at least.
Which is interesting, yeah. Like, so fun fact, and I feel like we've said this before in other live streams, Q&As, but Shui was made specifically for Chosen Ones. And I made Shui without knowing who any of the other characters were going to be. And I barely had any idea of like how I really was going to play him. So I'm so glad that it worked out the way it did.
He works really good as like a coming of age story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very good. Shane, it's your turn.
So my favorite thing in writing is writing internal struggles. And I don't actually end up saying too often what I have in mind that Theo is thinking. Although a lot of his actions do show like how he's thinking and feeling. But sometimes there's just times where I'm just like, there's like in the near finale when Shui was talking with Mizuni, how Theo responded to that but didn't bring attention to himself. Like, he had his own internal struggles because of how he had grown up and how he was treated by his parents and all that stuff, but I didn't say it out loud. It's just like, the internal struggles are probably some of my favorite things to do, and if you really enjoy Theo as a character, then you can look at most of Chosen Ones, and like, if you study how he reacts to things, I think it can say a lot about him and everything. And then outside of that, I really like, personally, my favorite thing about D&D is romance, so I like all the interaction with Brandy. I love it.
That's fair.
It's a fave.
Okie doke. Last couple questions in the chat.
And then we'll finish off with our final thing. That's our personal question to end off with. Let's go back.
What is everyone's favorite class?
Avayath. What's
like
Jay?
Oh,
sorry. It's so hard. I did
Avayath.
No, I'm Avayath.
I did make you guys change your names to this for like the Halloween live stream 5 years ago. And we just kept
never
it.
changed back.
Well, I like it.
My favorite class is Claytor.
Wow.
So no, my favorite class I said earlier in the stream, it became Paladin
Yeah.
for playing this podcast. But like otherwise, it would be Barbarian. Like Barbarian is the archetype that I love the most. But the problem I have with Barbarian is that mechanically, like once they reach level 6, they don't really get anything new after level 6, or like they don't make a lot of progress after that point.
Yeah.
Mechanically, I find them kind of boring.
That's
Fighter.
Yeah, paladins just get so many cool abilities, and they're so strong and cool.
Yeah.
They're just more fun to play for me. Yeah.
Paladin Asmer's a really good combo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the combo. Just
like if barbarians were reworked, they would be my favorite.
That's fair.
For sure.
Ripley, I'll never guess.
Can you guess?
I'll never
Can you
guess.
guess what my favorite is?
I think you like the Artificer the most. You will not
It's
stop
my
glazing
favorite.
the
I love the
Artificer.
Artificer so
You know
fucking
what you
much.
love?
Let me
The
tell you.
Mystic.
I love the Mystic, dude. Let me tell you. No, they're both trash. I love Warlocks the most. Can you imagine? I love Warlocks. Warlocks are my favorite because of how customizable Warlocks are, but not in a way that's hard to wrap your head around, like with a fucking Artificer. Holy shit, Artificers get like at level 10 they have like 60 things they can choose from, and that's way too much. Warlocks are more digestible in that regard, and you can build Warlocks in a lot of weird different ways. Like even if I didn't do a homebrew thing for Brandy specifically, his subclass, you can build. I could have built Brandy as something else, like as a Fiend Warlock or as a Hexblade or like something else, and it would have still worked. And that's the thing. Warlocks generally tend to be like, I want more classes to be like that, customizable like that, which is why whenever I do homebrew, because I do a lot of homebrew, I've made like 20 plus classes and a bunch of subclasses and spells and all that. Whenever I'm making classes for D&D, Warlocks are usually my point of reference of like, okay, I want customization options for classes in D&D, and I want them to be like, I don't want the options at hand to be overwhelming like the Artificer tends to be. So Warlock is usually my point of reference for that, and I've made quite a few classes because of that, with that in mind. But yeah, either Warlock's like my obvious answer, and then my second would also be Paladin. I love Paladin so much. They're so much fun. Their abilities, their Divine Smite, their feeling of like, you know, the roleplay potential with a Paladin is just so good. I love Paladins and Monks too. I love Monks. They're so fun. They get so much shit and it's so much fun. People say they suck. I don't care. I love Astral Self Monks so much. They're my favorite monk subclass. They're great. I love them.
Warlocks are also just cool, like flavor wise, the whole
exactly
contract thing.
Yeah, of the classes in D&D, Warlocks have like the most potential for like cool shit to come out of their class alone. Like they have so much flavor to them. It's just so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's mine. What about you, Cassie?
I'm also Warlock.
He's a Warlock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a flavor thing. I used to be Wizard, but then you turned Estral in a game into a Warlock. You converted me.
I converted you.
Because
I showed you the light.
It's so much fun, especially the way we do Warlocks, where you become not very close always, because obviously the Magic Man's not super close with you because he's one of the more standoffish ones you could have picked. But just because he's hard to talk to, like hard to physically, and you know, he's hard to contact. But just in terms of like the relationship you can have, you don't have to do the dark and spooky thing that people usually associate Warlocks with. Like I like the relationship that Estelle had with her patron was almost like a mom in the game that she was in, and that's part of the reason why in this game I made it be a family member that she had as a patron, is because I wanted it to still kind of have that sort of family dynamic. And like that's just, I just like the potential, the role play potential, and also like you have to have a deal, like there has that like already has so much narrative-ness added to it that other classes don't have, is that to be a warlock you have to have made a deal. So you know, it's just good. It's good and I like it. So
yeah.
Wizards are also good just because utility spells are fun, and I like being very far away. So I like not being touched. So I do also like playing wizards.
What about you, Zen? Fighter? The Mystic?
My favorite D&D class is Bard.
Wow.
I see we're all really
Everybody,
standing out
place
here.
bets in chat right now of what Shayna's favorite class is going to be. You'll be shocked. Yeah, go on, Zen.
I really like Bard. I feel like even with just like the base class on its own, it's an incredibly versatile class. I feel like you can kind of manipulate it and warp it to kind of be whatever you want in terms of flavor. Like you don't always have to go around storming a loot or something like that, you know what I mean? So you can be things like swords, bards, or you know,
and
like,
you don't.
Yeah. And I like that like a bard can fill like any role in the party. That's the thing about Shui. Like we were talking about, I think last year we were talking about like maybe like power levels or something like that, like scaling and stuff.
Yeah.
Shui, he's not really like a specialist, I wouldn't say. Like obviously he swings his sword around and he likes doing that. But
Very
he can,
good
I mean,
at all
but he's not, yeah, he's very, very much a jack of all trades type of character. So like he's got a bit of healing, you know what I mean? He's got a bit of tankiness, but with like his Horus Bard letting him like increase his AC. He can cast spells like, if he wanted to.
Yeah, he can cast spells.
So I just really like the versatility of a bard. And I haven't played D&D as much as some my castmates, so I don't really have that much experience like with other characters. So you know, I've
You
never
did
really
play a
played
wizard for a
paladin.
while and not cast a spell for
I
half the
did.
game.
That was not my fault.
It was it was exclusively your fault.
It was entirely your choice.
I had to throw you off a building to make you cast Featherfall, so you'd
That's not
knock it
fair.
off.
See, that's not fair. They don't know the context, okay?
Uh-huh.
There's a reason why, okay?
Yeah.
And the
but
reason
anyway.
was whose choice?
You were
Okay.
mentally nerfed. Yeah.
But yeah, that Bard is my answer.
Yeah. What about you, Shayna?
So, I do believe that Ranger Rogue is the most comfortable I've been playing D&D. It is it is just very comfortable for me. I do really like it. However, Monk is actually my favorite.
Yeah. None of you would have saw it coming.
Theo's a monk
that's why
confirmed?
Ripley said. That's why Ripley said you'll be surprised because I think she knew.
Yeah, I knew your favorite was monks.
Yeah, it's just martial arts in general is such a deep love for me. And whenever I make a monk, I can pick a different martial arts type of fighting. Like one of my favorite OCs, Halen, does snake style. And so I love getting to depict that when I'm drawing him and everything. So it's just like I feel like monks just really give me that
It's your flavor
joy.
choice.
Yeah, it's my flavor choice. And you know what? It makes me want to play a monk for the next next campaign.
Yeah, a lot of people are like monks are typecast into being, you know, a specific way, but I don't really feel that at all. I don't feel like you.
It's
have
the
to
same
play
with
monks like
druids.
Those people. Yeah, druids are harder, but also like you can justify it if you find the right way. But
I also just
I
like
love monks.
being able to hit a lot.
Yeah,
Like
that's great.
I just like to imagine the person using their martial arts moves just so quickly because you know a turn only lasts like
6
a couple
seconds. Yeah, you're punching
So
a dude
just, like-
fucking 5 times in 6 seconds.
Yeah.
And I just love the speed of that and just imagining that. I just love it.
I like Monk as well. We played in like a game that Ripley ran that was kind of inspired by Naruto, so everyone was almost kind of sort of a monk. But it was like there were different flavors of them, and I just really liked that. We had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah. Was there anything you guys did to do character voices? Someone's
No.
having trouble with them. Here's the thing about character voices. You don't have to do a voice, and most of the time doing character voices just comes from like your inflection on how you are saying things. Like you can do a lot with just like how you say things versus actually having to put on a voice.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
me as a person, like I've wanted to do voice acting for a long time, and I was for a bit, which is why, you know, my natural talking voice is somewhere in this range. But with Brandy, he sounds completely different from me, to a point where somebody was confused as to who I was in the podcast, because they were like, who's Brandy? Or like, who's Ripley they keep talking about? I just hear Brandy because, you know, I sound like this. Brandy talks real low down here like this with this accent. Like, you know, it's very different. But you don't have to do all that.
I actually don't
just
do that
matters
many
on like
voices
how you do inflections.
besides the silly ones. If you listen to the show, like a lot of the characters are actually just my voice with a different inflection, besides the voice mods, obviously. But yeah, I actually don't have a wide range for my voice. It's just a matter of getting into character in terms of thinking like them and speaking like them. Like, obviously Arthur is more rushed and nervous when he speaks, and that changes the way that he speaks, whereas Estelle is more calm and confident in the way that she talks. And that a lot of that is just thinking about it from the perspective of who you are talking as and what they are trying to convey, and what their personality is. And that's really thinking about it like the main things. It can help as well to write dialogue that your character would say and then practice saying those lines. I do that a lot as well. Before a session is I'll practice a character voice, or I'll practice talking to someone to be able to get back in that mindset. And then also sometimes I forget. Sometimes if you listen back to early season 1, people sound different because I forgot. So
It happens.
It's harder
Literally.
because you're DMing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you have a lot of voices to juggle.
Yeah. Like in the last session that I ran, like I had just introduced an NPC not like 3 sessions prior, and then immediately forgot they had a French accent, and I was like, oops, whoopsies.
Right.
Let me
Yeah.
course correct.
Because
Like, you know.
if you think about also, like this is my normal talking voice, and then Theo's just like a little different. Like it's just very slightly different, just a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't have to try that hard. Or you could try hard and just play with however you find you can make a voice. Because last time we had a campaign, this was my voice. So it was.
Yeah.
So like, just play around.
Yeah, my advice would be don't do a voice that's like too hard for you, because what's more important than having a distinct voice is being able to portray emotion. You know, when things get heavy, you want to be able to voice your character.
Yeah, imagine talking like this
like
all
screaming.
the time. Like,
Yeah.
whenever I play Win as a PC, it's a struggle because his voice is hard to keep up.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
hurts
exactly.
me.
Like, don't do a voice that's too hard to keep up. Just my advice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just make sure you can do something sad.
Okay, it says we just dropped to 4 viewers. I hope we're like good. Like, I hope we didn't just like die.
No, it doesn't say that for me.
No. It
Okay.
doesn't
Oh
say
yeah,
that.
it's 24.
Okay,
Yeah.
so my back end's just lying to me.
Yeah. What would Cassie do if they were stuck in a house with other
Die.
NPCs?
We can move on. I die. Like, they don't even have to know who I am. There's so many people who would just kill me. Like,
Yeah. It's true.
there are so many fucked up evil people who would just be like, "Oh, human shield!" Like, because they'd all want to be trapped with each other, and some of them are enemies. Like, Alia would be like, "Yoink, more HP," and she'd be like, "Wow, you survived 1 hit." Like,
You survived half of 1 hit.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then the last one that's in the chat is weird question. It doesn't have to be answered, but will we ever see all the people behind the characters? We've done like an interview once where we
I don't think that the camera was actually public for that interview, but there were a couple clips that were on TikTok that showed our faces. Not Shayna, because Shayna doesn't like showing his face, which is fair, and there's no pressure to. But I know Zen and Jay and Ripley and I have shown our face before. Me for a lot because of TikTok before I took it all down because anxiety. But yeah, we're all just, even when we play, we don't have our cameras on. We're very just introverted people, and we've always done it this way. It's very rare for us to ever turn our cameras on.
Yeah. A lot of the time, like in D&D specifically, like I know a lot of people do face cam stuff, but like for me, it feels easier to play as my character when I'm behind a screen, like get more like into them, because like you're not seeing me being me. You're just seeing it from like these are the words Brandy's saying and not me.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I also have so many things that I'm doing as a DM. Having cameras on would distract me. Seeing people's faces would distract me because there's so many things that I'm doing. It'd just be another thing for me to look at. So for me, I actually would not let people. I've told people before when I've been like considering doing one shots and stuff that I am a no camera DM. Like even if you're used to it, it's too hard for me. And also then from a podcasting perspective, you can't do actions and then we react and the audience can't see it because I know that's an issue for people who do camera.
I'd be
but
too
then
tempted to do bits.
Yeah, so that's an issue I know some people have as well since we don't have our cameras on. But yeah, like on TikTok, I think on our side channel there might still be a clip up of me, Ripley, and Zen, if a short, if you wanted to dig for it. But you know, it's just we're just not very face people. We don't really take selfies, or at least we don't share them. I don't know. I'm not in everyone's daily life. They might take selfies and just not share them. Like,
I have I have posted selfies, and they are still up and out there. So it's like it is possible to see. It's just that like talking to someone doing an interview, like with like comments available and everything, it's like you're definitely getting misgendered. So is it you know? So that's why I am hesitant for such a thing.
Understandable. Yeah.
That's fair. It's not meant to be like a secret, and for many of us, it's not. So
yeah,
it's just we also just don't share our faces as much as we did when we were younger.
Yeah, don't have much of a reason to.
Yeah. Like, I don't use Instagram. I don't use Facebook. There's not, like, a place that I would post my selfies to really anymore. Same with Twitter. I don't use Twitter. So, yeah. Even my Blue Sky, I don't think I would want to put my face on it. And then I'll be real. AI kind of scares me, and having my face everywhere would make me freaked out. That's also part of the reason I took my face down.
That's also fair.
So that's just, you know, me being paranoid because things scare me easily, you know.
As you should be, to be honest.
Yeah, people are freaks online.
But yeah. Yep. I think that's it. I think that's it for our questions.
That's it.
So I'm gonna switch us to our thanks for coming screen, but we'll answer our last question. And then I also want to thank everyone. We are now officially at 84% for the Kofi drive. And we're not even 2 weeks in yet, and we're at 84%. That is awesome. There's still a ton of icon rewards left, even though the chibi and one-shot slots are gone. And if you get the Avayath song, I know it's more, so it's okay if you don't want to, but if you get the Avayath song, you would also still qualify for the chibi if that you had really been gunning for that. And there's 2 of those left. But we're gonna finish with this last question here. That I wrote for the cast. I think we've also done it before, which is what's one word without spoilers you would use to describe the final season of Chosen Ones? We'll start with Jay.
Oh, without spoilers, the final season. I don't know. Catastrophic is the word that comes to mind.
Let's do a light, non-threatening word. Let's go with catastrophic.
Catastrophic, calamity, one might say. You know, yeah. I'd probably say like.
I saw the chat.
Yeah, I'd probably say. Unexpected.
That's a good one.
I'd say. There's something that happens that you are not going to be able to predict. It's going to be, you're going to be surprised.
There's a couple things that...
Yeah, there are quite a few things.
You're going to be
so
like...
unexpected.
And there's also been foreshadowing for them, and you're going to be like, what the fuck? Because there's no way you would put it together with the foreshadowing that I've done, but it's there.
Yeah.
I would say,
unexpected is mine.
For me, I'm going to use the word strings.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
It's very strings.
Yeah.
It's so strings.
All strings, yeah.
It's such a string.
Very,
you know?
very string.
Yeah.
Huh. Consequences.
Oh my god, that's so true. Oh
If it isn't the consequences of my own actions.
Yeah. For Shui
So,
especially, that's a good word.
my god. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I would argue the whole world.
Yeah.
But my answer is change.
That's a good
Ooh.
one.
I thought about giving
Like-
that answer too. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like everything changes. Like the way you think about something changes. The way
Yeah.
something else happens makes you think of change. So yeah, my answer is
Yeah.
change.
Hell yeah.
That's fair.
Well, thank you all for coming today.
Yeah.
That we went an hour longer than I thought we would, but that's how it goes. Zen even today was like,
Yeah.
God, tell me we're not going to go for 3 hours. Like, but
Oops.
I'm glad that we could do some audience questions here at the end. So thank you all. And I can't wait to see you in season 5.
Yeah. See
Woo!
you in
Yeah,
season five.
season
See you
5.
later.